Okay, we're live. All right, hi, hello. Welcome back to episode number 3 of the Cuppa Show. It's been a long time, it's been a long hiatus, but I'm happy that we're finally back after like 4 or 5 months, though I don't really have a reason as to why we were away for so long. But Ahaan, how's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good, dude. It's going amazing. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done this, and so to fill that gap, to give you a reason as to why we did this, we got this expensive and crazy setup done.
Yep, so for those who didn't notice, we are now in a proper full-fledged studio with really professional people around us and even better equipment so that we can up the production quality even better from last time. But that
So,
being aside, how has life been for you, man? Last 4 months.
life has been great. Kind of monotonous. I'm not gonna lie. Wake up, work, gym, trying to gauge where I stand as a student, as a prospective student. I am flying out. And I'm kind of thinking about the future of Kapajo show as well.
Oh damn.
It's always replaying in my head. So I thought we have to do this, and we have to be much better than our first 2 episodes, and that's our goal, right? That's our
And I
goal.
also think we need to be just more than a podcast, right? It doesn't have to be this thing itself. It can also be way more than this.
I think we should not let the viewers get an idea of what we have in mind.
Yeah. You have
For-
to. You have to stay tuned for that.
How have you been? How has life been for you?
Life's been good, man. It's been nice. It's been steady. Can't complain, honestly. It's been a bit challenging, but work's been fun regardless. Health's been alright. Sleep schedule is still a bit, not up to the mark. I've been to the gym a grand total of 3 times this year. Very proud of it. Not gonna hear anything otherwise. But that's enough about me. That's enough about you.
Dude, I think that's enough about both of us.
Yep.
I think the viewers have heard too much of us. 4 hours combined and 6 reels now. So we have something for you. We have something
We have a
and someone
surprise. No,
really special.
we have 2 surprises.
And
What are they? No, wait. Who are they?
you know what? I'll introduce the first one.
Yep.
So sitting right next to me is Jaskaran Bindra, who happens to be my best friend and someone I always have a pensive conversation with. He always challenges my thought, I challenge his. And I just want everyone here watching and listening to hear what he has to say, because it's always so constructive and it always makes everything so much better for me personally. So Jaskaran, please introduce yourself, man.
Oh yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I've been pestering both of these guys since the new year that I want to be on the show, and I felt like I could really add something to it, and it's really exciting for me to be here. I'm so happy because this year I've actually thought of challenging myself and trying out things outside my comfort zone,
That's awesome.
so that when I fuck shit up. Can I go over the intro?
All good, all
Can
good.
I go over the intro
Everything
again?
works.
It's all good. It's all good.
Everything works.
Acha, okay. I'll go over it again. You introduce me again.
No. You can keep
Everything
talking.
is
you can
fine.
keep talking.
Just
keep
So,
talking.
acha, you'll edit the intro
we're
with
good.
this.
Yeah,
we're
we're
good,
good,
bro.
we're
We're
good.
good.
But we can talk.
Don't stress. Keep talking.
अरे नहीं
You
but
can-
tell me this, like we're talking, this is off the stage, this cut conversation we can bring in ऐसे में
Man.
बीच में cues ले सकता हूँ ना
Hey,
तुमसे?
brother, you can do whatever
Flow
you
लो
want.
तो नहीं
Do
खराब
whatever
होता
you
तुम्हारा
want, do
style?
whatever you
Everything is good, my guy. Everything is good.
हो गया सही है
This is a funny bit. Jaskaran Bindra.
अरे मैं ऐसे conscious कर देता है ना भूल के. Okay, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me on this show, top lads. And yeah, the Cuppa Joe show has been very interesting to watch for me recently. I really look forward to what these guys are up to. And since they're always planning on improving with every episode, as you see now, they have me, so they've really improved. And
Definitely.
and so I'm glad to be here. Currently, I'm in law school. I'm in university, and I'm trying to pass and do whatever I can with it. And like I said, I've been trying to be out of my comfort zone this year, try something new, so that usually when I can't say anything except fuck shit up. usually when I fuck shit up in my life,
Mm.
I have something to blame that I tried something new, because I usually suck at shit. So here I am trying out something new. Look, ma, I made it. I'm at the Cuppa Juice show. I'm ready to put them on the charts, get them on trending YouTube #1, and let's do this.
That's awesome, man.
This
Love
is
to
the
have you.
best introduction that I've ever gone through.
So the
Oh, yeah,
second,
also,
The tops
yeah,
and
yeah.
turvies.
I would then also like to add my motivation to be here.
Yep.
So you know what the memes say these days about podcasts? Guys don't go for therapy. They just start a
Start a
podcast.
podcast.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so coming to the second guest on our panel today, it's Aryan Bhagat, straight out of UK. So he is a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a sound engineer, and he's also a truly gifted dancer. Overall, a great artist. He's one of those guys who I've only known for less than a year. But it's one of those relationships that when you finally meet, everything just clicks. So I'm super happy to have you on with us today. And hopefully we can have a great conversation.
Hey, thank you, man. No, absolutely. We did click the first time we
Yeah,
met.
yeah, yeah.
And also these tags of artists and singers, dude, it feels so good when other people also like validate things like that. Like, oh, you are this. It's great. But no, but it is true. I actually do know you just under a year.
Yep.
And we've actually never met until like recently when we met.
Like 3 weeks back.
Yeah, 3-4 weeks ago
Yeah,
when I had
yeah.
just come back. But it was so cool because we spoke on FaceTime and call like
Yep.
continuously, like episode 1, episode 2, and then you guys like kept upgrading your system. By the way, props to you guys for that. You guys
Appreciate
started
it,
with
man.
no equipment, no idea of how anything works, to getting mics and editing softwares, and now you have a full studio and sound engineers and equipment, and just fame and chicks are the next thing.
Yeah.
Episode 4 it
that
is,
is the
guys.
goal. That is the
Episode
goal.
4.
That is
Yep,
the goal.
Yep. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, or,
So
you, or
boys-
you get cancelled.
Maybe. Oh, that's the
It only
ultimate
goes
dream.
to
Right?
That's the
So
ultimate
getting
dream.
cancelled is the
Cancelled.
ultimate stardom.
Yo,
I
let's
don't
go
think
to
it
a
gets
girls'
better than
college.
that.
Say some shit.
Following the path of Andrew Tate, it can't go wrong. I mean, it can go very wrong.
I mean, you
But
can
it's
end up in
like-
jail for 3 months. What?
Yeah, for no reason
was-
altogether.
Hence the lawyer.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can,
we have a lawyer with us.
I can
today
help
for
you with that.
Yeah.
Getting into jail bit. Not sure about the getting you out.
So boys, what's the agenda for today? Where do we start?
So I want to start with, we're here, we're introducing our guests. You know all about us, so who wants to talk about us, right? So I want to ask Jaskaran and Aryan to share their different experiences. So Jaskaran is pursuing law. He's in his 4th year, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
He's in his 4th year, and Aryan is just back from his education abroad. Studied music there, sound engineering, and now he's flying again. So I want to know from both of them. First, Jaskaran, of course. I want to start with you. Tell me what your expectations have been in
And-
the past.
And truth be told, Justin was told by someone very fine that he was going to be the biggest lawyer in India on the New Year's party. I don't know who it was. Would you like to tell us?
Yeah, there was the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Dhananjay right here, who's with us. And ever since then, he's been my motivation to actually prove him right.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Love it. So
He's
how was the
keeping me
experience?
going.
How's the experience been like?
I mean, it's good. It's pretty much of a roller coaster ride. I think when I started off back in 2019, when we were fresh off school, I didn't have much of an idea as to how to go about it. I still don't, but I just put in more effort now. But I think once you're fresh out of school, it's a very early phase in your life to actually decide on what career path you would be taking on. Some of us might get it wrong, might get it right. Therefore, now I think after seeing my peers around me, I also consider the option of a gap year, which is pretty good, which is looked down upon usually in our schooling systems.
I took one.
I took 2.
But I would say in the large scheme of things, it really helps. But whereas, personally, I've been pretty lucky to have chosen what I'm into. It gets tough through the passing years, and especially over the lockdown, I didn't really pay much attention, which I still regret quite a lot. And I've only been playing catch up since then, trying to make the best out of it, trying to learn as much as possible, especially with only 1 year to go, and so much to learn with a lot of practical aspect to it, and how we also have internship breaks in the middle. So if you want to know how's law and what I'm doing in university overall, I think it has its ups and downs, but at the end of it, it's a good learning experience. I
Awesome.
won't really say I'm a fan of it. I love it entirely, and it's been amazing. It's been
Yeah.
great. It's challenging, but then again, you learn, you adapt, you overcome. That's how we go about it, I guess.
That's an amazing explanation, man. Very eloquently put.
Thanks so
There's
much.
one thing which I've noticed while you were talking, and I would really like to put some light on it. I like how you embraced the luck part of it and how you called yourself lucky. I think it's really crazy how people, don't really credit their good luck as much as they discredit their bad luck.
Yeah, true.
Because whenever something bad happens to us,
Mhm.
we're very quick to blame that our
Very
luck is not
cynical.
good. But for
Yeah.
everything else that's been happening for us throughout our lives, we have had good families, good friends, good shelter, good clothes, good food. No one considers themselves to be lucky at that point. So I think knowing that, counting your blessings is really important.
Because it's honestly it's like a bias that your brain has.
Yep.
Because the negative aspects are also more impactful to you.
Right.
That's overall more impactful in what route your life is going to take in that moment as well. However, and since they are pretty, luckily, fortunately, they are few and far between. I hope so with all you guys
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
That the negative aspects are few and far between. Therefore, you remember them more instead of the happy ones. Since you come across them on a regular basis, it's obviously great.
100%.
But you don't appreciate them as much as you should. True.
Of course.
And I personally believe in the law of attraction. If you guys have heard of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
I've heard of it. Yeah, and I believe that by actually addressing your luck and how fortunate you've been, you only attract more things
So
to
for
be
the
lucky and grateful
so for
for.
the uneducated lot who don't know about the who don't know about law of attraction, break it down in like elementary words. What do you do?
Okay, so yeah, 101, law of attraction 101. That's what you want,
This is
right?
like
Yeah.
asking Chat GPT how to do it.
Exactly,
Like if
precisely.
I was in 5th grade, how would you tell me law of attraction?
Yeah,
Explain,
exactly.
explain it to us like we're 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Which we
Ha.
actually are.
So yeah, law of attraction 101 would be conceive, believe, achieve. I guess the
Okay.
quote speaks for itself. You should have a vision in your head. You should have something you're looking forward to. You need to have a firm belief in yourself that you're going to be achieving it, and you should follow it through with your tasks or the actions you take up, with how you behave on a regular basis or whatever is going to lead you up to that action. And yeah,
But you know,
it's eventually going to happen.
I've noticed a lot about this entire law of attraction debacle, and that is a lot of people really like to watch these motivational videos, but at the same time, when they're done watching, they just go to sleep. Right? I think what really goes down in it is you have to put in the work regardless.
Dude, as a matter of fact, though, now that you brought it up, sleep. Honestly, when you're about to go to sleep, that particular 5-10 minutes before going to sleep is actually considered to be that one time where you're actually in sync with the universe, where you are when your consciousness is at its highest.
But that should
Is at
also
its
not
peak.
be mixed with complacency, right?
That's true,
Because
exactly.
when you're lying down and you're almost,
because
dozing off.
that's the thing that people get wrong always, because they're like, oh, I'm manifesting it.
Yeah. But are you
But-
really putting in the
But are you
work?
putting in the work? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to make it in life.
Hmm.
I can't just write that on a piece of paper, put it in my wallet, and expect it to one day work out for me. As you said, in law of attraction, like whatever you think, whatever you believe in, whatever you try to gauge in life, you want to become a good lawyer. You're constantly thinking of becoming a good lawyer. So that's manifestation, but with the work provided.
But you have
Yeah,
to pay
true.
the price through
Definitely.
adversity, right? You have
Yeah.
to pay the price for
And
tuition.
then
Of course.
that
Yeah.
thing gets attracted to you, or
Not
you
even
get
with
attracted to it.
adversity.
However, like that's where law of attraction, I think, plays a bigger role.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think, Aryan, that you follow this principle, like
I
with
mean,
your life?
I feel like everything I've done has. I mean, I don't want to be that guy,
Hmm.
but I feel like ever since school finished, like everything's been very different. Like I took a gap year because I changed professions, or like idea of professions and what career path I want to be on. Then pandemic happened, was forced to take another gap year, and things kept happening, but things still were by my side. And then I was finding like problems, so I could feel sad because this
Yeah,
generation
yeah,
likes to
yeah.
romanticize
The sad
depression.
boy era.
An idle
Yeah,
idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yeah, and just being
For
this
sure.
emotional, sensitive guy, like whether it's like girlfriend issues and stuff, like
Hmm.
that was my only issue in life. So in that way, I've always been pretty sorted and wanted to do music, did well for myself, had a great experience. I intentionally put myself in difficult positions in London, but because I feel like I've just been through only good moments in life.
Hmm.
So I was like, I need to appreciate the things I have. So now
Mhm.
suddenly wearing the clothes I'm wearing matters. The roof I have on my head really makes a difference, because I did go through a housing
The comfort
crisis.
at home, the cooked food.
Yeah, and I was talking to you about
Food,
it
yeah.
before.
Hmm.
I literally was homeless for like 2 nights,
Mm.
and I think I lived in 12 different homes in
Throughout the year?
London, and I was there for like a year, and I just continuously kept moving around, and there was thrill in that, and there was the nasha in that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely.
now I look back, I'm like, oh my god, that was really tiring. I'm like still tired. It's been a month since I've been back, 3-4 weeks since I've been back. I'm still tired because
Yeah.
of how much I moved around. So yeah, stuff like that has been different, but my approach is different because I'm in a field which I have to only work on it.
Mhm.
I can't go to an office and just put in the hours, and which is also very difficult, but just something I can't do.
I think the creative part is often more lonely.
It's absolutely very lonely, and
Yeah.
I like that. I'm
Mm.
very nocturnal, and I'm usually Ahaan knows this about me. I usually am awake till like 8 a.m. without fail every single day,
Mm.
and it doesn't affect me at all. But I am the only one who has to work in my thing. If I don't make the songs, or if I don't make the music, or if I don't engineer the bits out, or whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's something like a podcast, or whether it's something like an album or a single or a jingle for that matter, which is a quick project, only I have to work on it. So the second I decide that I'll make it and I just go to sleep after watching that one motivational video, waking up tomorrow, going to the office is not going to fix it.
And it's like a drug. It's like a drug. And,
It is.
and trust me, because I've been there, right? I've been there.
Would
do
be in
not-
a rut.
No, like, yeah, doing nothing all day.
Yeah.
End the day with watching motivational
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
I've been-
thinking
I've
that
been
life's
there.
going to be better tomorrow. It only gets worse.
It's like a slippery slope once you
Yes.
you're there.
Like Ahaan
Slippery
likes to
slope,
say, it's
yeah.
a slippery slope.
Yeah,
It
true.
is.
But Aryan, see, the thing is, I know you don't need. So the thing about both of you Aryan and Jaskaran, they don't need to be. They never are at at an underhand. They're never given an underhand. We've been all very gifted with the resources that's
Yeah,
been provided to us.
privileges.
But at the same time, I'd say that about all of us, that we don't. We of course acknowledge that, we appreciate it, but we also don't want it. We don't try to associate and base our images off of it. So like about Aryan, he was literally a bartender in London.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was great.
yeah.
Yeah, free alcohol. I mean, no, different topic. No, but that was cool. Again, like as I was telling you, I've not being the third child in my home. I've been spoiled by everyone.
Yeah.
And yes, I don't like to identify as a spoiled brat and South Delhi kid and whatnot. I know that I still am on many levels, right? It's just my ego got destroyed when I reached London completely. Like it got shattered to a point where now I am not egotistic about.
So I think that
anything.
humbling is really required for character growth and development. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm still down to do it here. It's just here the protocols are very different to get jobs like that. But literally, I was working in the most crappiest bar in East London, very shady neighborhood. People getting mugged and stabbed like left, right, and center.
Were you offering free drinks to women?
I was
Yeah,
offered
that's a
free drink.
question.
So I had a rule.
What's even the point of being a bartender?
Hopefully, my ex-boss sees this
Hmm.
and never lets me come back to London. But I had a rule: 20 drinks free every day.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
It was a rule I made.
And are the bartenders drunk themselves? Were you drunk at work?
It takes a lot for me to get drunk, so I wasn't.
But were you drinking?
Were you
Oh, so
drinking?
much.
So much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I believe that Aryan has had like his education life, his education as a student has been very different from every one of us.
And definitely
So
both of us.
So
yeah.
Jaskaran's in law. I am pursuing MSc in finance, and you're also from BBA, right?
Unfortunately.
All from management backgrounds, and he's law.
Unfortunately.
So like Aryan is doing something that's considered risky in Indian context. Indian households, you can't do that. You can't just step out, study sound engineering, and be a bartender. Our parents, my parents wouldn't see that me doing that as really fondly. They would definitely suggest me to do something else. But Aryan, how do you think you being a third child also one of the reasons
No,
why?
Can I pop in
Yeah,
a
of
can I
course.
pop in a side
Of
small
course,
question?
of course.
course.
On
It's
the
your
note of
show,
being
man.
risky only.
It's your
Yeah.
show.
So like you said, how it's deemed risky in Indian households and all that, and your parents won't really look forward to it. So minus of all the facts and circumstances, if you were to do something very risky in your life, your interest, what would you guys pick up? And Aryan, if you were to do something riskier, what would you do?
Risky. I think everyone here knows this about me. I think I'd write. I think I'd make some movies, short films,
okay.
YouTube movies, something like that.
Ahaan
I even
Mahan.
have a creative side.
Ahaan
but-
Mahan, character developer.
What about you? Just before I start myself, what do you think?
So I
What
used
would
to
you
play
do?
cricket. I would want to pursue that. I think it's still one of my first interests and hobbies. And if in a utopian world, I would really want to be a cricketer.
But then again, we live in India, dude. The competition for cricket here is immense.
But then,
But
given
competition
no
for-
facts and circumstances, I would just be playing now. Then I could just give it all my time, dedication, hard work, and it's
Ahaan, competition for everything is crazy everywhere.
Yeah.
But
the class-
cricket is a
No.
notch above everything.
I know, I'm not taking that away, but we do live in one of the most populated countries. You may be a pen salesman. Dude, there's like 800 million people standing right next to you selling
Yeah.
a ball. Right?
Yeah.
Anything you pick, no matter how little, how big, how difficult, how risky, the competition is never gonna die. But that can't be the reason why you don't do certain things.
Yeah.
Right?
So after Dhananjay answers this question, I want you all to also give an input about how do you think you can get an edge over the other person.
I'm not done though.
Yeah,
Let
continue.
you should-
No, continue,
Cricketer?
continue.
Cricketer.
Cricketer.
I share an interest for films
Mm.
with Ahaan, so I would love to be either an actor
Or a filmmaker.
or filmmaker, preferably.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I would want to be a rock star.
No, I've seen this.
I would want to be a lead
I've
man or a
seen-
guitarist
but
or
I've
a rock
seen
band,
this
heavy metal
shifting
outlet.
trend that a lot of people nowadays have gone from wanting to be actors to being filmmakers.
Yeah.
This is a sudden contrast. I don't know how that became more cool. Maybe it is. I have no idea.
It just finally came to surface.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
Ahaan and I, like, we grew up together watching films, and
Yeah.
now we've reached like the same
Right.
mental space where we discuss
Mm.
it's so like you're gonna hate watching films with us because we pause every like 3 minutes, go, yeah, you see this
Yeah,
scene,
so
the
do I.
lighting in this
Mm,
sequence, and then this, and like we talk about like the most random things. Like,
Mhm.
So are you guys the loud ones in a theater?
no,
Not at all.
we're quiet because
we're quiet.
we want people to have
Yeah.
that time, but
Yeah.
we're in our heads like making
The
mental
review
notes.
happens later on.
Yeah, and we're having mental notes, or like if we're watching something at home,
Mm.
dude, we're continuously pausing the thing, continuously looking at like, oh, the cinematography and this is good. Or did you see how the camera tracked over here?
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, of course, we've had an interest because of our families being very into film, my brother being into films and all that stuff has been a different aspect. But filmmakers finally started getting popularity, where now it's a filmmaker's movie.
As the audience has
it used to
evolved,
be,
right?
oh, this actor on screen,
Yeah.
watch this actor on screen. Now this actor's name is in like the 17 font.
So the people behind the
others are
scenes
23.
are finally getting more credit like they rightfully deserve.
In India,
in every field.
in India, I don't think so, because still a movie by Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan sells other than a movie
No.
by
But I
Anurag
think that's a
Kashyap.
totally
that's
different
so-
No,
concept
but
by
that's
itself.
also if you
Yeah.
put Dwayne Johnson in a film. Dwayne Johnson's personality is bigger than the film, the character, and the director.
That is
Dwayne
true.
Johnson in a film
But-
directed by Martin Scorsese. Was
And you know what?
obviously a
Personally,
Martin
what?
Scorsese.
I wouldn't want
Where did that
to.
come
I
from?
wouldn't want
No,
to
but-
say this. I wouldn't want to say this, but it's very common to say कि I can't watch a Salman Khan movie. But to be honest,
I can't.
I would still prefer it over a Dwayne Johnson movie now.
No, I'm not.
No.
personally.
I'd say it's kind of
Because it's
glorifying
too
the
much.
similar. It's a similar.
glorifying
It's
the same
similar.
thing,
I
it's
won't
like-
watch
It's
either.
similar. I won't watch.
Yeah,
I
the
won't watch either.
personality
Yeah.
is bigger. Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
personality is bigger than every character. He plays Ryan Reynolds in every film.
Yeah,
Kevin
exactly.
Hart plays
Yeah.
Kevin Hart in every film.
Mhm.
It's these characters are just that big in real life that
Right,
you can't
right.
take their personalities away.
It's
It's
just
just
like
that.
They're
Tom Cruise.
typecasted as
But-
themselves.
But that's the thing. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the best actors of this generation. We're glad to have witnessed his acting and his movies come into the theaters and go and watch it. Dude, Christopher Nolan has done a few projects with him, and other directors have done.
Scorsese has done
Scorsese
4,
has.
5.
He's always Scorsese or the directors always get the name, no matter how big the actor is,
Yeah.
because of course they did get recognition before also,
Right.
but now it's come up so much that
It's also because of the kind of films they make.
it's
So
also kind
when
of
you
a
say a
film,
Shah Rukh
right?
Khan or Salman Khan film,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
mass pan-India appeal
But you know,
film.
to my point and to your point as well, I think it's not fair to compare because our Indian movies of Northern India especially, it's more of a musical than a movie.
Yeah.
Inspired by musicals.
Inspired by
Like they have a
musicals.
because-
Because-
sub-genre of their own.
So I think it's not fair to compare. But okay, it's not my forte anyways.
What do you see the music industry, the movie industry? How do you see it in the next 10 years? Is
So
there any hope?
before I get to that, just to conclude the risk taking segment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just Karan, you would rather be a cricketer or a filmmaker?
And a rock star.
And a
most
rock star, of
importantly.
course.
Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain?
You already are
Rockstar.
one, aren't you? It's the
I
mindset,
wish
right?
so, I
The
wish so.
mindset.
Oh yeah,
It's
mindset
the,
wise.
it's the mindset, yeah.
Mindset. is-
Aryan, you already are at your
Mindset
highest
is a
risk.
superstar.
You're an artist.
I
But
feel so.
what is something else other than being an artist?
I don't know. My problem in life is I want to continuously learn something or the other. So
I think
like,
that's a gift.
and
Yeah.
as much as it is a gift, it's also an insect. It's a bug in my head that every few days it's like, oh, let's do something new.
Right.
That's why bartending became a thing I wanted to, because I've always been passionate about drinking. So started, and that sounds like I'm an alcoholic, but like, I've been very like enthusiastic about alcohol and like to have a drink and appreciate it. Hence I started bartending. Then I did a few courses. Then I finished a course, like did an online course and everything. I don't know what the next thing is, because I'm already tapping into different parts
Right.
of music and trying to see where I can go.
Yeah.
So the next step already is pretty risky.
So somewhere within music itself.
Yeah, it's all risky, right? The
Mm.
next thing I'm going to study is vocal production and vocal engineering. It's not a thing that people really know much about. I know about because I've studied so much already, but
Right.
I've been in that risk factor since school finished, because even the profession before this I picked was not orthodox for like conventional for Indian
What was it?
standards. I
And
wanted to become a basketball player.
I do
Oh, yeah.
support it because I think being risk averse at 21, 22, 23 is not a way to live. So that's why personally for me, I think I can't play it any more risky than I am already, because right now I don't have a real job. I'm involved in the financial markets. Money is not guaranteed. There are months where I lose money. I have a bunch of people I work with. We have good days, we have bad days. It's really risky. And on top of that, I get flagged for, from people around me that why don't you go and get a real job, get into consulting, get into something real,
Is
something
it
to
day
show for.
trading that you're into?
Yeah, just markets generally. There are various segments, various people do different things. So we are all around that. That's like we're up 16, 17 hours a day on call, on text.
How many people in your team? I'm asking.
This
I wouldn't call it a team.
there's no team.
Living a very safe life. Maybe I talk from a place of privilege, but living a very safe life at this young of an age, I think it's going to do more harm and cause more resentment in the future.
Dude, living an unsafe one would give you trauma and probably you'd die and you won't see the rest of
No,
your
but,
life.
No, but then overcoming that is what it is, right? Like, I'm not
Yes.
saying that you should live an unsafe life. Find that
No,
balance.
definitely not. But
To use Ahaan's favorite term, slippery slope. Like,
Yeah.
it is like you have to find that fine line. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to relax on my couch and just
exactly.
be
yeah,
happy.
yeah. And what happens later on is when you're 30, maybe 40, I don't know, you have that resentment towards people around you. You're
Yeah,
gonna start
100%.
blaming your parents that तुमने मुझे ये नहीं करने दिया.
Something or the other is gonna come up, right? Like
So why not just try it right now?
instead of focusing that, oh, let me, and this is the one place where I feel like I'm opposites with a lot of people and have been at crossroads, is that I always say to, and it's very poetic,
Hmm.
but why are you thinking of 35? Why are you thinking of 32? Why are
Yeah.
you thinking of 40? You have these prime years. 20 to 30 is your prime, make it or break it point. Just keep trying.
Yeah,
If you break it, you break it. It's okay. You
Just-
still have an opportunity
just throw a
afterwards.
bunch of
Yeah, you
darts
won't
in
ever
the dark
break
room.
it.
And one of
See
my
what lands. Yeah.
like music gurus, like 7-8 years ago, I used to like learn from him and stuff. He literally said, he's like, पैसा कमाना मुश्किल नहीं होता, कुछ ना कुछ करके पैसे कमा सकते हैं, कितने वो अलग बात है, पर कमाए जा सकते हैं. तो
And I think what I've learned is पैसा कमाना मुश्किल नहीं होता, रखना बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
रखना तो चल वो conversation generation के लिए है ही नहीं.
Yeah.
But making money is not the difficult aspect. There's things like these keep coming up, dude. A few months ago, crypto was the shit. I mean, it still is. But
Yeah.
Instagram was flooded with just reels of how to,
Yeah.
be a crypto king,
Yeah,
be
yeah,
this,
yeah.
be that. Every friend of ours was investing into it.
And most of the people are left holding
Where
the
is
bags.
it now? How
down
much? How much
90%.
is our friend circle talking about it on the daily basis? Who used to like Zoom call and be like, "Oh, let's invest together."
Yeah.
It's gone now. It's the Discord thing.
Because
Is it
people
down
have been
bad
washed
now?
out, man.
No, it's still a booming industry. I'm not
Crypto
saying
is still
that.
good
It's
or is
just
it down
always
bad?
will be. It
No,
always
It
it's
always
always
will
going
be,
to be a
but
booming industry.
it's cyclic in nature,
But
right?
the thing is,
it washes
yeah.
out.
it's always about the next thing.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
generation is so like time bound. They have a very less consumption time of things.
It's not even about the
Patience
next.
has gone.
I mean, but such
I
is
believe-
life. It's always about the next big
I
thing.
believe in India, it's not even about the next thing because we don't really have an option. We can't trade crypto because of the tax on
Yeah, dude.
income, right? There's a tax on income, not profits. And another
Yeah.
thing about crypto is that I feel like you shouldn't join the bandwagon ever. Like,
But
understand
that's not
it,
just for this, for
understand
anything
it,
in
for
life.
anything, anything in life. So I've seen it myself. You know, I've seen it myself. People join the bandwagon of Dodge, and they lost a lot of money. Like KSI, for example, like
Yeah.
lost $5 million or something like that. So
which is like pennies for him. But
I know, but then again, it's
lose pennies, guys.
हाँ नहीं KSI नहीं. I think Logan Paul lost, no?
everyone.
Everyone lost.
KS
Everyone
Logan,
lost money.
Logan-
Everyone lost money.
Logan Paul did the NFTs.
Yeah, and
And
he
yeah.
also did a thing with the Pokemon cards.
I mean,
Yeah.
but if you have that kind of a budget, that's when you again get into the risk.
But I think those people are not the problem. Them losing money is also not
That's
the
not the
problem.
issue
But
at
the
all.
people who
The
look
people
up to
I'm talking
them,
about
they
us,
should
people like us.
they should be
people like us who,
managing
like,
their own risk.
Speak for yourself, bro. I don't look up to such
No,
people.
not look up to them as in
I
that.
don't look
Like,
up to
of
them.
course, none of us do.
Yeah.
But the aspect being like people our age, like that, we have lots of friends. People from his college, people from my college, actually, for that matter, are people who've seen these videos and
Yeah,
been like,
yeah.
oh, I wanna get a taste of that. Gone and invested in something, lost a lot of money. Gone and bought something, lost a lot of money. Sometimes got some money back. Suddenly, it's proof of concept. Ki, oh, I did it. It
yeah,
works.
yeah. And you know
So-
what I think is the integral problem to that, what you're saying? Because people want to copy just the money part of it. When they're looking at an influencer, they don't want to copy the work ethic.
That's the thing.
They don't want to copy the hours, the sleepless
KSI
nights,
is probably following an 18-hour routine, 18-hour
the,
work routine.
the
right?
lonely nights, the times where people would doubt you and people would ask you, oh, why not get a real job, right? People don't want to copy that. They just want the nice, shiny, red colored car.
But that's where it pans into the whole
I-
social
I-
media is fake aspect.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to
You
know
know,
what.
What,
I-
what does that mean?
No, like, you see things on social media and you believe it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's easy. It's easy consumption for your eyes and your brain to register
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
oh, this person drives a Lamborghini.
Hmm.
Oh my god, such a good life he lives. He probably is driving that car to a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well,
that,
yeah.
that car is probably on.
That's not on social media.
on
And-
probably
and
on
even- and
EMI,
even if he
debt
isn't-
ridden with
even if he
collateral of his
isn't,
house.
But that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
These kids, like, we are now reaching a state where we're able to understand what's right and what's wrong. At least most of us are. Some aren't. It's okay. They'll get there eventually. But we still make these mistakes about things. But the 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 13-year-olds, these peak years of people's life, right? The children's life. They watch these videos and they're like, oh my god, sidemen are so cool.
Why are they
Oh my
even watching
God.
all this?
No,
I
but
mean,
they
it's
are.
entertainment,
it's
right?
entertainment.
Art
Entertainment,
law,
right?
साल के
But
बच्चे.
they don't know.
They should watch Pogo, bro.
Watching a video of
Troll.
sidemen going and buying things from letters A to Z. A is a very expensive video. Second, they have a crew following them. Then the editing team is totally different. The sound engineer team is totally different. They're not seeing that. They're going and doing the same thing with their parents' money, thinking, "Oh, I'm living the best life."
Yeah, yeah.
Case in point, never compare someone else's highlight reel to your behind the scenes.
So, you know,
Word, word.
yeah, word.
That's very nice.
So,
T-shirts, guys. T-shirts.
merch coming out soon.
What's coming out?
So talking
Yeah.
about being impressionable through all these media that we consume on a daily basis, there are many trends that we take from Instagram,
Yeah.
like trends every day. like one of them being the Sigma trend, you know, the Patrick Bateman, Ryan Gosling. What do you guys think about that? You know, should a person like I, like 21-year-old man,
Yeah.
follow the Sigma route?
I think it's
What-
just great memes, man. To be
What is
honest,
the Sigma root?
The Sigma route is being
A Sigma
kind of
root.
stoic, kind of being like an ass to women.
Oh,
And I know I might be wrong. You can completely
Okay.
correct me.
I don't know what
Like,
it is.
I mean, I'm totally opposite than that, and you know that.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, understand.
every single time any person or any friend of ours has come and had the conversation with me, I'm like, don't try to morph your personality into something. Like,
Yeah, be
genuinely,
own, man.
like,
but
the
I-
way you are will define who you can pull and who you can't pull and what society perceives of you. Because the second you start thinking of how society perceives of you, oh my god, you're going down straight up. Because then you're only thinking of how to shape yourself to be what that society wants.
And-
you to be.
I've
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we are all as a product an influence from everyone else. I'm an influence from you. My personality is a concoction.
culmination of all
Is
the
a concoction
people,
of everyone.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not just even you. It's the media I consume. You know,
Mhm.
I watch a movie and then I act like the main character of the movie for the next 24 hours. So it's very very easy to pick up these very significant yet small
Hmm.
characteristics from Patrick Bateman, maybe even Andrew Tate, but it's there. I definitely
So what
think.
my personal opinion on this whole facade is that look at the memes, enjoy the memes,
And
take
then-
any value you can get from them, add the value to your life, and then just let it be, right? You can look at someone who you don't like and still learn a lot from them.
Mhm.
You need to, keep your friends close, enemies closer. Always learn from other people. That's what I try to do. Even if I'm seeing something which is really controversial, I still do my thorough research. Doesn't mean I have to give a real opinion about it publicly, but just learn from it, right?
Yeah.
I think people waste a lot of time debating ki what's wrong or what's right. I
Exactly,
think who
true.
cares, yaar? Matlab,
True.
doesn't yes,
Yeah.
sabke paas internet hai, everyone has it.
Mhm.
It's free, more or less, Geo and everything.
Yeah.
Just do what you want, man. It's
Plus,
Yeah.
if you know
not
कि
that
किसी का-
deep.
if someone's opinion is wrong, you're certain about it, you're confident, and you know if somebody's saying something problematic. Firstly, that person's not going to be influenced by what I have to say against him.
Yeah.
Secondly, it is not my job to. And thirdly, and most importantly, it's his opinion. He can have it.
Mhm.
And उसके ऊपर से another point I had, I forgot. I'll add it.
Bro, I'll tell you, no, in the second episode that we put out in December, I think,
Yeah,
December.
more or less.
there was this one guy in the comments who was really angry with
Who?
what we had to say. And
Who?
because
I think that was early. That was September.
it was
that was
September.
September.
I don't
That was
even
the- that was the
remember.
first
And
episode.
you guys have your first hater already. Congrats.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
the
that
very
guy,
first episode.
Bro, that guy
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
left.
Before you continue, Aryan, can you,
You can
just
hate
check
me.
if the cameras
No.
are rolling? I'm just anxious about that. I'm
Yeah,
really
let's-
nervous. And you can go ahead.
To
Keep
that one
talking.
Let him
hater.
check, let him check.
You can keep talking because the cameras will stay on us.
Acha, so what happened is that there was this one guy, right? He
Yeah.
wrote a whole essay in the comments. I was truly flattered. If you're watching, keep watching.
About?
He said that, so we gave a small talk about Adani and if the entire his rise to stardom, how
Okay.
organic it is.
Yeah.
So I just being in the markets myself, it's my day-to-day job.
Yeah.
So I gave my 2 cents. I said ki the growth show how great, but it's not gonna last. The stock can drop off the hill pretty fast.
Did you say this before the?
Yeah, I
way
did.
before the
I
last
did
show?
way before,
You
way
recorded
before.
it,
Way
oh.
before.
I said that the guy got so angry. He called us that you two are the people
Who look
who
down on
are
Indians.
everything wrong with our society because you people look up to billionaires of abroad but not India. I thought, bro, it's not that deep, man. It's just a
True.
podcast. It's just a podcast. I mean, if you're so, like,
No, but
yeah.
but that's the thing, right? You're putting yourself on social media or the internet. You're bound to get somebody to be against
So
you.
I loved it, man.
And you
I
know
took a
that.
Love
screenshot.
that.
I took a screenshot. I showed it to my friends. Look, I got my first hater.
I was sent that. He had sent it to me.
Yeah.
I never
I
told
remember.
anyone else that, dekho yaar, I got these compliments. I never shared that, but I shared that because that was more special
And
to me.
then this Hindenburg report happened and we were just laughing.
And then,
Did you see the report?
then I put up a story and I'm like, if you're watching, wherever you are, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Be careful who you idolize. To that one hater. And also, constructive criticism is pretty much appreciated. We love you.
no, I mean, if you're still watching this, thanks for watching, first
Yeah.
of all. Share it with your friends, family,
Yeah.
whatever. But I just want to say ki in life, don't be married to your bias. Be open, be adaptable.
True.
You know,
We're still pretty young, you know.
No,
I think
but-
people who get
I mean,
older.
is it even your belief if it cannot be questioned?
But that's the thing. Don't marry your
Understand.
biases is a good thing to think. But coming back to what you had started with, you do need those unfortunate moments
of course.
to understand what you need
Oh,
to get
truly.
into or not. Right? It's okay. I mean, if you're able to live we have a few couple friends, of course I'm not gonna name them, but they live a very lavish lifestyle and they are very aloof with what the society thinks and what the world thinks and what they should think. And it's all right, you're doing your thing, but you're not really expanding your horizons, and you're not expanding your knowledge, and you're not expanding your brain. But you're living a very good lifestyle. You're eating 3 to 4 meals a day, driving the nicest cars, living in the nicest apartments, hanging out with the nicest people in the nicest clubs. It's a good lifestyle. Nobody's ever questioned you, and you've never questioned anything. It's okay. But I feel like if you really want to open the sponge of yours and like actually let things come into your brain and let things work for you, you need to actually put yourself in those situations.
Yeah. Challenge yourself.
Challenge
Yeah,
yourself, and more than challenge yourself, it's because you can challenge yourself with anything. Like
Right,
the most
it's-
little thing. I can cook today. I'm not good at cooking. I can start cooking something difficult, and that's a challenge.
You know?
But that's not an uncomfortable position because I still can get food.
Right.
The thing is,
I agree.
it's hard to stay super sane. So like, me as a person, I want a challenge, right? But it's also so easy to get complacent. If I have a cook at home, I'm just gonna let him cook. But I also at the end of
And
the
let
day,
him cook.
I at the end of the day, I do want to try. I want to try cooking. I want to try my hand. But that's part of being super sane. So I mean, I
No,
can't
and-
blame them if they're like
Whatever.
living their life the way their parents.
Thank you.
No, and
brought
that's
them up
okay.
to.
That's also where parents' conditioning really makes a big difference. But you are gonna go to you are going to go to college right now, to university for masters. And the one thing that I have been sharing with you for the last, well, now year, but of course the last 4 weeks, you're going to come back as an upgraded version of yourself, and I can vouch for that because I know how you adapt and receive and are receptive to things. It's not like you're going to see one thing and make up your mind that this is how the world needs to be. But I remember seeing pictures of myself or videos of myself dancing in a club April 2nd, April 4th last year when I had just reached. To now, I literally told you, I was like, I could eat that guy up. As
Mm.
weird as that sounds to say. But I know I'm not saying I've like grown up or anything,
Yeah.
but based on every experience I had in my life, I'm better at understanding those situations. Whether it's cooking, the littlest thing, which is also a very big deal in the universe, but in the more my personal sense, it's not been something I've ever thought about, right? None of us have.
Mm.
Food's always been made at home, and we just
And
come downstairs and there's food.
backtracking a little bit to your point about nice friends with nice lavish cars and a good lifestyle. I think I've seen something really common rising up in those areas as well, that a lot of people who have a lot of privilege in life, who are doing really well due to whatever reason, who have a lot of money, but like pehle se, like khandani paisa, whatever it is.
Old money.
Old
Old
money.
yeah.
But I don't see the reason why so many people from those backgrounds always have this burning desire to say that no, this is not me. I'm much more than this. I mean, you can still do that by accepting your privilege. Like, what's
No,
why
but,
live in
but,
denial?
no, but you have to. I'm not saying I do, but I know people have
no,
to
you
do that.
you should go
because,
out and
because
yeah.
that's where the whole ego thing comes into play, where you're like, no.
No, I
Imagine
understand,
me.
but why is such a
Imagine having
peop- yeah.
privilege as an insecurity. That's such a
No, but
luxurious problem to
people
have.
are on such a quest.
You can't bring it
Rich
up कि
money
मैं privilege दूँ.
Rich
Yeah.
people problem.
Oh, wait.
Straight
No,
up.
but
Imagine that.
people are rich people are on such a quest to show that no,
It's
we are
because of
not
that.
rich. Like I think it comes from a place of insecurity. Like
No,
why not just
100%.
accept it?
Because they're not capable,
Yeah.
right? And if they are capable, they've not actually put in that effort for the law of attraction toward money, for that matter.
They've been born
They've just
born
been
into it.
born
Yeah.
into it, and
Uh,
sometimes it's not even that their fathers actually worked. It's their great grandfathers that worked crazy hard and it reached them, and now they have crazy amount of money and they live this life and whatnot. But if they go to office, say for every alternate day they go to office now, 21st century, they've grown up, they've graduated, now they're going to their same office that their father's been going to. They're going to come back and say, oh, the last billion we made? Yeah. And you're like, but that's not because of you, honey.
I'll give you an example, right? I won't take
Just
any
don't-
names.
just don't-
No.
one
Yeah,
short
yeah,
example.
sure.
One,
Yeah.
there was this one guy in a friend group who used to play with us online on PS3, I think. I won't name him, but he was the grandson of a like A-list celebrity in India.
Okay.
But we didn't know that he's the grandson of that person. And he used to play with us, and we used to treat him like a normal person, right? Like a normal friend would. But he wasn't used to that kind of a treatment. Like we were just talking normally, make jokes about him and stuff. So one day, he got
Amitabh Bachchan.
so one day he got so pissed off, and then just blocked each one of us,
Oh.
and never talked to us ever again.
But
Why? Because he lost a bunch of games in a row.
you see that
So
that's
sad.
because he's
Rage
been,
quit करवा दिया.
no, but that's how it is, right? Like you've been brought up in this environment where everything's for you. everyone's a yes
I mean, he
man
was a
around
good
you.
guy. He was a chill guy, but
No, but
suddenly
they just don't understand. And it's
Yeah.
not their fault. It is on some level that you can also do your own thing.
Yeah.
But if they've never been told and taught how to do their own thing, or been allowed to do their own thing, and they've just been brought up in this Richie Rich environment,
right.
they're not gonna know. Richie Rich is, as a movie is such a good example. The kid walks out and sees people playing baseball, and he's like, "What is this? I
Dude,
want to do this."
The thing is,
I don't even
realizing,
remember that film anymore.
realizing,
It was a good
realizing,
film.
It was a good film.
Go
man.
rewatch it.
realizing that you're not the main character in somebody else's life, even sometimes your own,
Yeah.
is hard to digest. And
True.
I've just
Facts.
you know
No,
been in-
but you are the main character. You don't have to be the rich guy with six-pack abs and the best looks and the best cars and the best chicks and the best this and that. Main characters don't have to be the oh my god superstars. Main
The
characters
main
can
guy
be-
has to be you.
main character
who
has to
you
be
are.
you. You can literally, and there's so many actors and filmmakers, as we were discussing before, who are breaking these norms, who are just making
No,
their
but-
own characters be
Dude, I
whatever.
This is the thing.
they
I
do.
think it is
Go ahead.
also of importance to note the fact that you cannot always be the main character.
Exactly.
You
No,
can
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
gonna have those ups and downs, and
No, but
not
what-
everything
what
you
is
do
main
you can't
character?
be the.
No,
So-
but what is main
so the
character?
thing
That's
is,
what I'm
as a-
saying.
Somebody
I'll
is the
tell
world
you.
revolves around you.
I'll
You're,
tell you.
you're calling
It's
the
being-
shots.
it's just being a
You're making the
narcissist.
Yeah.
It's just
W's.
being
as a
narcissist.
Yeah.
as a child, right? As a even as a teen, you tend to think that all this is happening for you. What your parents might be doing is for you. What your friends might be doing is for you. You say something that might be off-putting or upsetting to everyone, and I'll take it to myself personally. So that is the main character mentality that we've all had as children. You know, a bit narcissistic. We have been.
I mean, I still do,
And-
but I'm not vocal about it. No one needs to know. Like no,
No,
one
but
needs
like
to know.
I have an opposite of this.
I have come to
He's
terms
vocal
that
about
Side character problem.
Side character problem.
Yeah,
so you
like
basically
that'll
Ryan
never be-
Gosling
So
too.
it's like
So
Ryan
Gosling
that'll
too.
never be the main character.
So you're
I
Ryan
have this
Gosling too.
problem.
So is it more like an imposter syndrome?
Yeah, let's call it that for a lack of a better term.
That's why Ryan Gosling is so literally me, because he's
So
also
what?
in most movies he's not the main character.
But like I
Yeah,
live life
plus I'm
differently.
pretty happy with that. Honestly.
I'm not. It's gonna sound very narcissistic, and I might be on some level.
I think you
Because
should be.
because I am
Ah,
passionate.
you're the main
aggressive.
character.
But I
Be
live.
selfish, be
But the thing
narcissistic.
is, I do live life like I'm the main character.
You are.
Yes,
You should.
yes,
You are.
I am always there for any friend and family member when they need,
Yeah.
and always will be. Like I'm literally a text away, and I know I'll always be there. But every minute I do whatever, whether it's watching that motivational video and sitting on my bistar and doing nothing,
Yeah.
I still am that main character, because this main character definition is very morphed.
So were you always that way, or did you have to learn it? Was it acquired?
I was always like that.
Yeah.
He's a natural, bro.
Even in school, like I remember I used to like this girl, and I remember people like my friend circle having like crushes and stuff, and they'd always be like, shh, 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 let's not tell anyone. And I literally straight up went to that girl and I said, I like you. I know you're not gonna like me back, but that doesn't make a difference. I'm going to spend the next 2 years just doing whatever I like, making sure that, of course, in my boundaries. Not
And let me
like-
guess, it ended up working in your way.
Oh, not at all.
at
Never
all.
dated her. She never liked me back. She's still a great friend.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this never gets cut and put in. If it does, hi.
I'm
But
I'm gonna make sure she sees it. Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Just a copy is sent to her. Alexi, like, hey, by the way, Aryan said this. No, but
let him
I
work.
didn't send you this.
but I did my thing, right? Like my mom always wants me to become an actor when I grow up, and she's been behind me for that. But I say one thing, and I said it to Ahaan also so many times. I like living like a Bollywood character in real life. I feel like I don't have to do it on screen. Now, I'm not saying I'm like, oh my god, Shah Rukh Khan and stuff like that. But I'm doing my bit as that dream that I have of being an actor, but off screen. I want to write the love songs. I want to do the romantic gestures. I want to say the, oh my god, what a line kind of thing. Make dialogues in real life.
But I want to ask you something
This
very
movie
simple.
complex, so I also have that.
Movie
Like
complex,
I'm
good.
like I'm in a film all
But
the
you,
time.
all the time.
you being
Even
a
when I'm
singer-
walking and sorry.
No, all good.
Small,
Yeah,
small.
continue.
Even when I'm walking around, these carrying out these menial tasks, going to a park or going to classes and shit, I'll have a soundtrack kind of song.
Something in a
like
way.
I've
Those
heard-
memes,
like,
those
I'm not
memes,
gonna
Patrick
yeah,
Bateman,
like I'm not
from
gonna
American
like
Psycho,
Ahaan
yeah.
doesn't know this, but this one time Ahaan was in the metro and he was I don't know if he was going home or something, but somebody from my friend circle was in the same metro at the same time,
Acha.
who Ahaan didn't know was there. She recognized him and he had AirPods on and he was dancing and singing, not loud, but he's doing his thing. And,
What the
and the
hell?
entire thing was main
Did
character
she
vibes.
record it?
No, she didn't, but she
What
told me
the
about
hell?
it. And I was like, main character vibes.
Alright.
And she literally said, I saw
That's
Ahaan in the
vibes,
metro. I said, was he dancing? She's like, yeah.
That's vibes.
That's
What
the main,
the
but that's main
hell?
character vibes,
That's
right?
good. That's good.
You don't
man.
care. I used to do that
Yeah.
all the time, and I still love doing it. Right? You get lost in the song, and you're just like, yeah, this is me
How old
right
is this?
now.
How old is this story?
This is like 4-5 months ago, dude.
What the
Or
hell?
whenever you like this. No, this is still college time,
Yeah.
and you were I think coming back in the metro, and somebody from my friend circle saw you.
I'm gonna definitely ask who it was after
Yeah,
the
yeah,
podcast.
100%.
But I'm so glad that we stumbled upon this across this liking and
Yeah,
love kind of topic.
yeah.
I really had this question for all of you. I want to know your opinion about the 21st century love. What is it? What do you
It's
think about
not
it?
love anymore to begin with.
Why not?
It's very competitive. I feel like we can't be fully vulnerable to anyone with anyone. With your partner, you can't be fully vulnerable because there's always some sort of ego there.
No, you
You
can.
No,
can.
I can be. I, mean,
I
would
I
want
would
to be.
want to be. I would
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be, but
Oh, you
I
can,
can't.
but again, that's where dynamics make a big difference. You know, you can be vulnerable with me 100%, right?
Because I've known you for like 15 years.
No,
But
hell
I'm
with
talking
the
about-
duration. Like I have certain friends, like some of my college friends. How long have I known them? Like a year and a half, right? But I am able to talk about anything and everything, whether it's just good points of life or just bad difficulties in home or like anything that's happened to me. I'm able to discuss those things out. It doesn't matter the duration. It matters on the dynamic.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
the
sometimes you're
chemistry.
able to talk more comfortably with people you've only known for like a year or two rather than
That-
someone you've known
that
since childhood.
also is there, but
That does
like,
happen sometimes.
that does happen. But
Yeah.
like for me, like I'm very fortunate since I've come back and lots of things that happened last year have now brought so many friends back into my life
Yeah.
better than before. And I'm fortunate to say I have like best friends. I don't really have friends. I just have best friends. And the lineup, knows it's a massive lineup of very nice people. I'm able to talk about anything and everything with them. I don't have to think twice that how is this person gonna take it.
And that's a
No,
bless-
but
that's a blessing.
I'm talking about.
And that's where if you end up dating one of those people, it's always gonna be that, right? If you date a friend, oh, cake, you can always talk. But if you date
that's
someone
great.
and then become friends afterwards, I feel like then it's
Is that even a real thing?
Oh, of course. I mean, there's so many people who are friends first and then they start dating. I have some.
But I
was-
think
I
that's
was
the
dating-
only
that's the
way,
only way, right?
But
No,
that's
but,
the only
but
way.
so many people meet, like there are like we have friends on dating apps and stuff like that, right? They meet someone, they swipe right, whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever it is, and then they go out with that person. They do 1 date, they do 2 dates, they do 3 dates, they do 4 dates. Now they're dating.
Mm.
It's a thing that they do every Friday, every Wednesday. They go to clubs. Now, 10 dates in, let me make you meet my friends. You were never friends first though. You just started dating from day one. If you have to have an anniversary date, it's day one when you actually went on your date. Doesn't matter when you said officially now we're dating because I asked you or freaking
Right.
what the hell does that even mean?
No,
But-
Facts.
Yeah,
I get the idea of dynamics, but I'm talking about how it is now. You know, in our society,
Like relationships.
we first we meet, we
Yeah.
might hook up or not, and then we meet again. But then I could never find a real connection or a real relationship.
Because it's
It's-
a game now.
And yeah,
It's-
that's
that's
what I was
what I'm
gonna
saying,
say.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
It's a game now.
the problem is
It's a
that
gimmick.
the relationships have been gamified.
And people even don't
Extremely.
even like the word relationship anymore.
Oh no,
There is-
what
don't
is it
use
now? Situationship.
Yeah.
And
I
what's the other
don't
one?
think I'm well
Talking
versed with
ships?
that term. Can
I don't know
anyone
about that.
explain?
Something like that.
Can anyone explain me the term
Situationship?
situationship?
So basically, situationship is something that you are basically in a relationship,
Yeah.
but without the tag. You're doing everything a couple would. You're
So when
exclusive.
did that go from like friends with benefits to
No, because
No,
it's
but
not
it's
just
exclusive.
about the physical part. It's
Yeah.
you're gonna sit and
Yeah.
cuddle and have emotional
and you're
conversations.
still not going to have that tag.
But-
exactly.
We're not dating yet, and you're like, you're crazy.
Bro, I think
Straight
because
up.
people are
No.
so scared.
No, and
can't
dude,
commit.
it's difficult to find authentic people. Yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
problem. Ahaan was showing me somebody else's account and stuff. Dude, it's literally about this one person first sending a message like, "Hey, something." Then you being clever enough to reply that with like a flirtatious but bantery message. Then again
It's
a playful.
become a competition because
Why
you
is
want
it?
to
It's
have
just a competition.
Yeah, true.
who
W
can
W
be-
race, right? Yeah.
Who's
Oh.
I think
cooler.
he's right when he said it's gamified.
Yeah, he said that.
I'll
And
tell you. I'll tell
yeah.
you why.
Absolutely
Because
true.
and, gamification is not just about this. I don't want to go to a different topic, but everything is being gamified, and that's why the collapses happen. Trading, stocks, all those things have been gamified. You can straight up make an account. What's the result? So many people end up losing money. These people never lost money before because they never got involved. Similarly, in dating, everyone has access to like 3 dating apps, the main ones:
What are those? Two.
Tinder, Bumble,
Hinge.
Tinder is not
Hinge.
that important anymore.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
thing is,
Tinder's pretty irrelevant, I think.
Calm wali bhai.
Can we use
But
them?
gen-
Can we use
no,
them?
but
Yeah,
sure,
hate
coming,
on them.
coming back to my
Can we hate
point,
on them?
Sure.
what I'm saying is,
I mean, actually, there might be a potential
This-
potential glow, potential glow. So what
Take
I'm
it from
saying,
Bumble
so what
and
I'm
Hinge.
saying is
No
that
wonder you've not
Hinge,
made connections. Yeah.
gamified, right? So yeah, it's just a game, right? You can always, तुम्हारी किसी से you had a situationship with, or you like someone, but you're not talking to them. You go on the app, you find 4 new people to talk to. There's
Yeah.
the supply and demand is so skewed now that There's always a availability, right?
I would like to add though.
Yeah.
Sure.
On the
of course.
topic of gamification.
Of course.
Now that you said it,
Is
it's
it
like a
connected
game.
to dating?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
On the context of dating,
Go
about
ahead.
gamification, you only hate on it when you're losing the game though.
No, man.
And-
I'm
and
super old
having
school.
it,
No.
having it as a game
But you can
honestly
talk-
makes it fun.
No,
No,
I-
especially
I
especially
heavily-
in
I
the-
heavily
see, the
disagree.
thing is,
I disagree.
I
dynamic.
understand the chase aspect. I like that too. But everything else
No,
is
no, no.
insane.
But chase aspect is a human aspect. Even if you give a girl too much attention, she's not gonna like you enough.
Yeah.
She's eventually going to
Psychology
like.
101.
Dude, that's-
She's gonna want the balance.
That's
Yeah.
like basic economics, right?
That's
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But
Demand supply.
but
all
the
that.
like I'm
It's
old
crazy
school.
how it works like that.
I don't
with
understand
people.
dating apps. I don't understand this sliding into DMs kind of stuff. I really like it when people talk. Doesn't matter how you found the person, even if it's Instagram, okay, for that matter. You saw somebody's profile, you really liked it, or you saw somebody do something, and you drop them a text appreciating whatever they're doing, and then you meet, or then you talk on call, or then you text on freaking WhatsApp,
Right,
which
right.
is old school
Hmm.
because it's not a social media, but it's a part of life. You use it, you
And-
talk there.
And you know,
I think
to Jaskaran's point, like you said, that people are only hating the game when they lose it.
yeah.
I kind of agree. I think it applies to almost all aspects of life. But at the same time, the game is so skewed in a way that I don't understand
Why
texting.
like it in the first place?
No, I don't understand texting nowadays. What's with this
Yeah,
game that
texting is
a girl sent me a message. If by chance I replied to her like 6 hours late, then she's gonna make it 12
Yeah,
hours.
you can't have your own life, okay?
She's gonna make it 12 hours.
No, no. Yeah, she's gonna make it 12.
No,
You're
what's
gonna
with the-
make it 24.
Yeah, but what's with
Yeah.
the mathematical game out here that इतने घंटे लगे मुझे बात करने में,
तो
तो
मैं
उतने
इतने
घंटे
No,
घंटे-
उसको
no,
लगेंगे.
it's not also she's gonna take 12 because you took 3. She's gonna take 3 because if she
Yeah,
takes you right
all
away,
that.
you're gonna think she's desperate.
And-
But if she takes too
and
long,
you know what
that's-
happens?
Can't
What happens?
complain, bro. My
And
DMs
in my
be
head, I'm
dry.
going. In my head, I'm going. Who's thinking so much?
No, but you know what
Exact-
happens
that's what
because
I'm
of this.
saying,
But
that's
what
what I'm
happens
saying.
because of this is that so many people are playing this game that, oh, am I the desperate one, or he's the desperate one, or she's the desperate one, that what ends up happening is they get distance from each other.
That's exactly what
I
I'm
would
saying.
like to
right?
add
Disconnect.
I would like to add my 2 cents on this topic.
Of
I think
course.
I have a pretty interesting POV to this.
Sure.
I would link it to the whole dynamic of how the relationship and all this love and even sex works in India. So I think
Heavy.
this whole I think this whole tudum, tudum, tudum. So I think this whole gamification and introduction of the dating apps
Yeah.
has actually helped the Indian dynamic and in first of all introducing the terms and openness to sexuality, taking away the taboo, as he said, from it. So the with the advent of dating apps and all that, it establishes an open dialogue for it, which helps us understand the complexities behind it, which includes consent, which includes the LGBTQIA plus community, which includes other aspects as well, and especially the crimes against women and all those. Also, it really takes away from the narrative of love, which has been over glorified in Indian pop culture and in the Indian sense.
But I think we
Which
went to
starts
the
from-
opposite spectrum.
Yeah,
the end
so
of the spectrum.
let's say
itself.
let's say
Yeah,
we're
we-
on
we
this
went
spectrum.
extreme,
where
we went
this
to
is
a
this is
different
love.
extreme.
This is the spectrum.
Yeah.
This is love. We are here. So it is bringing it here suddenly, because love is damn over glorified in India. And personally, if I were to give my opinion on love, I think it's pretty overrated. There are certain other priorities in life.
So you've been in love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still am.
Okay.
I'm sadly in this situationship only, which you guys brought up about.
So why do you say sadly?
Because obviously a relationship is
Uncertainty.
great. Once you find a great person who you really like, it's amazing. There's nothing that beats a relationship. But then again, there are certain complexities on an individual level that are also involved behind it.
You know why people are so
That
scared?
is why I say love is overrated.
But people are so scared into getting into these lovey-dovey real relationships and instead opt for situationships because they're afraid of being wrong.
No, it's just
Afraid of being wrong.
it's
Yeah.
an easy
No, that's
way
not
out.
always the case.
I think it's an easy way out because you meet people or you hear about people's situationships, and it's, oh, I want to date you, but not right now. But let's do
But stick
everything.
around.
This can-
no,
let's
let's
stick
do
around.
let's do everything. Like, let me make you meet my family. Why don't I meet your family? Why don't I
Yeah.
meet your friends? Why don't
Yeah.
you come for trips with me? Why don't let's do every single thing that a
Mm.
relationship would be. But let's not date right now.
Because they don't.
Yeah.
They,
But
because they don't want to be.
This honestly really depends on the facts
Yeah.
and circumstances of every individual case.
Mhm.
And
So like mine, I've dated a girl for a year and a half or a year.
Okay.
And now we switched to this situationship where nothing's sour between us. It's not bad, but it just so happens that the situation is like that. So,
Right.
similarly, in these situations, now the person's priority might be elsewhere. They want to
But-
fuck around. They want to
but
meet
one
other
thing
people
I'd
or
like to add
whatever.
to you,
Yeah,
what you said that love is was over glorified, which I love, by the way. I'm absolutely a fan.
I think
of
it
that.
should be over glorified.
But you're saying
It
that
should be
but,
over.
but you're saying
You're
that
also a fan of love. You're saying
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Okay.
But you're saying that there are other priorities in the world. Don't you feel that this situationship thing is actually helping that thing that you're thinking, that this way people can stress less about it and now prioritize other things? So saying it's a situationship, golden for me, because I don't have to prioritize it that much, but I still get every single bit and every benefit
But
of
you're
a
just fooling
relationship.
yourself,
Yeah.
aren't you?
No,
You're
no, I
fooling
know.
yourself.
I'm not
Not at
saying
all.
that,
You're
but
fooling yourself.
Yes.
I want to know what he thinks of that, because
Not at all,
since
it
he
works
is in
perfectly.
a situationship now, isn't that actually in your ballpark then? Because this way you're able to not having to text or call or sleep on call or whatever it requires in your dynamic of a relationship. You're able to do that on your own convenience, or not just convenience. You're able to do it without thinking too much about it. You know, you don't have to stress that, oh shit, you know, like I really didn't get time to spend time with her today,
Yeah.
or she didn't get to spend time with me today. You don't have to think about any of those things, and you're doing your own thing because you're able to prioritize other things.
Yeah.
Now, I am not one like that, because when I am dating,
Yeah, me neither.
Me
I'm
either.
like all about that person, like 200, 300%.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
100%.
I mean, you either go all in or you
So-
don't, right?
So I
Yeah.
would link it to the when I say how it's overrated. So you can't really be all about a person all the time. Now you've got other things in life, yourself, your family, whatever your priorities
But a
are. And
relationship
it's-
But
I don't think
mutually.
it's- I don't think it's really healthy to be all about
No,
a
but
person.
hear me
and
out,
to be
but-
fully in love and entirely
But hear
into
me
it.
out, right? I don't
And-
think a relationship has to be just all about the other person, even if
Exactly.
it's mutually exclusive. I think it's all comes down to loyalty and being, that this is my person, and you show it to the
So,
world.
as I said,
Yeah,
dynamics.
easier said than
So
done.
why am I
No,
saying that?
dynamics make a
Nahi,
difference.
nahi.
So why did I say you're fooling yourself? Because the thing is, in relationships, you're in a relationship. Say
Yeah.
for example, I'm with a person. Doesn't mean I'm thinking about them 24/7, right? But
Mhm.
if you're in a situationship, that person can suddenly lose interest, fuck around, and then you're like
But
stranded.
that's also in a relationship.
But it's
That's
very
this-
because
that's the
relationships
generational
have.
But in
problem.
relationships,
have
these are more conclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Relationships have more responsibilities.
Yeah.
Everything's set.
When you're
You're
done, you're
stone.
done.
Yep.
Then
So
again, sticking to the law of attraction, bro. I would rather choose a situationship so that if the person is to do something in their own
You know-
lives,
you know
then
what that
that's what the
reminds me
world
of?
wants.
That
And I'd add
But
this
then
flow.
you,
Yeah.
but
Have
then
you
you
seen-
just try to make
this
yourself
can
effortless.
Yeah,
this can
yeah.
only happen once I allow myself to not be over reliant on love or a person or the feeling of love. I could be on my own grind doing my own shit.
Yeah.
If this love and all happens, then it's well and good. Otherwise, it'll come along. If there's nobody around me, then so be
You
it.
guys must
Simple
have
as
seen
that.
the show Entourage, right?
Yeah.
Not
In
really.
Entourage, you remember? You haven't?
no,
You
I
guys haven't. In
Kafi
Entourage,
kafi
you
mid
must
hai.
remember that there was this guy, Vince.
Hmm.
So what he
Yeah.
used to do is he used to never break up with anyone.
Okay.
So I think that's what has been translated in today's world, that people don't want that bad breakup talk. So they're gonna be in a situationship forever.
Yeah. It's basically
they're
that's
fooling
what-
themselves. They're
No,
fooling
they're fooling themselves
yeah.
because the problem
I
with
don't
these
buy
It's
it,
gonna
though. I
hurt
can't do
regardless.
it.
It's
I
gonna
can't do
hurt
it.
It's gonna hurt
regardless.
I had
regardless,
the bad
right?
breakup talk also. After that, also has been chill. Like I'm saying, the over prioritization
No,
of
you-
love
Hmm.
and the presence of it in your life and the impact it has on your life is not that much, honestly.
Yeah.
Jitna lagta hai. You have other things happening and you can put your mind to
No,
other
but
things
everything
also.
is derived from two feelings, right?
But
Love
sooner,
and hurt.
but
Love and
sooner,
fear.
Love
sooner
and
or
fear.
later you're gonna
Fear.
crave that.
No, like
Fear or
you eat something all the time because you love it, right? Like everything does revolve around this, and of course,
no
Indians have
reward and fear.
reward and fear. Fair enough.
Reward and fear.
But Indians have glorified love in this crazy pop culture sense with
Through
Shah Rukh
Bollywood
Khan and
only.
stuff, and
Glorification.
which is why I feel like Indians are super romantic no matter what even if any Indian friend of
And I
mine is
love
like,
that. I
I am
love
not
that personally.
romantic. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you're more romantic than like 95% people. It's
Yeah.
okay, right? And all women in our country now say it. Dude, you meet any girl like, oh, I'm not into romantic things.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
buy
hell
it.
no, nobody says that.
Everyone is though.
Yeah,
no,
they
no,
all-
no.
yeah.
I've met so many women
You know,
who are telling me
I'll
about
tell
their,
you what,
their boyfriends or
I'll tell you what.
situationships.
They
and
won't say they don't like romantic
Yeah.
things. What they'll say is that they don't want things to move too fast. Because
They
they'll
want you
see
blaring in their face, right?
because they'll see that you
It's-
did something for them, so they assume that you automatically want, कि भाई अब तो हो जाए शादी. That's not true.
It's the gamification, Keep it subtle, but it's there.
Yeah,
You need
true.
it to be there. But
So
it's
all
subtle.
these mind games aspect
It's-
is pretty boring.
No, I
The-
can't,
I don't
bro, I
understand.
can't.
The
But
push
I'm-
and pull thing.
Yeah.
You have to push it and then you pull it again.
It's-
But I'm
push
very
it.
excited
Annoying.
to see how it's
It's-
going to be for, especially the four of us, since we're the four having this conversation. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like in 3 years, because right now we are in that in between point
Interstice.
where we're also, I'm not saying
En
flirting or talking, but talking to people who are like second year students who are like
Yeah.
20, 19, 20.
Yeah.
We're also talking to people who are 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
And we also have lots of friends who are now getting into these serious relationships that are eventually going to translate into
something.
marriage, right?
Yeah.
Or people who in 10 years time are going to meet people and we're like, oh yeah, I got married to my college girlfriend and whatnot
Good
stuff.
luck to them, bro.
No, but stuff like that is happening. So I feel like the second we turn 25, we're going to be in like a different demographic where suddenly this conversation is going to be so different because we're going to be like, oh, gamification went away, now everyone's desperate. Or oh, no one's desperate, everyone's cynical.
I think the cycle happens this way. First, people are in a situationship till they're 25. Then they'll get married, but then they'll start hating each other. So then they have a kid, so that they have something common to hate.
Because let's make it clear, bhai, we all hate kids.
Yeah, I think that's what happens, right? I've seen young parents who are like 25, 26, but they don't know how to raise a child. I'm not saying I do, but at least I'm doing what I know how to do, right? I'm not jumping out of my circle of competence that much. I'm not going to have a kid until I can raise the kid. All these 24, 25-year-olds just have had a kid with the hinge date, with the situationship, and now they have something common to hate.
Yeah.
And that kid is going to grow up and gonna,
I've never heard this.
I've never heard this.
No, but I'm just saying that now that kid is gonna grow up and blow up a school. Okay.
Yeah, don't have
That's
therapy.
more American. That's more
Don't-
American
yeah.
than Indian.
In
Don't
India,
do-
what he's gonna do is, if he's
So,
from
like, the
Delhi,
thing
we
is,
all know.
in India there is a
Let's
thing.
not say it out loud.
In India there is a thing. So if you're in a marriage and you're not
Yeah.
satisfied, mostly in arranged marriages, like the elders of the family, like, get a child, you'll be fine. Just
Yeah.
have a child, everything will sort out itself. But it never works. It never works.
But it's not like that everywhere.
You will be surprised. You will
No.
be surprised in how many households there it
Ah,
exists.
no, even the modern ones for that.
In
Yeah.
India, of course, it is a very big thing, but even that is changing.
No, but
And-
you will be surprised.
No, I'm not saying it's not there. Of course, I'm saying
I
it's
lost
there.
track. What are we talking about?
we're talking about how in many families,
Yeah.
two a man and a woman are married together, arranged.
Or something else.
It's
Doesn't
usually
have to be
arranged.
man or woman. Excuse me.
Yeah,
21st
yeah,
century.
sure, for sure. But I'm
But
talking
Marriage
about
is still
Indian
not
households.
allowed.
Yeah,
Marriage
yeah,
is still not legal.
So Indian
They can be together.
Indian households,
Yeah.
men and women, married,
I would
arranged, and they're not
Depends
happy.
on how
they're
they
not,
identify.
They're not satisfied. Let me finish. They're not satisfied, right? So the elders of the family will be like, have a child. Things will
That's
level
what I
out
said,
soon.
like, now you have something
बच्चा
common
कर
to
लो
hate.
सब अच्छा हो जाएगा.
हाँ,
बच्चा
वो
कर लो
बच्चा
अच्छा
करो
हो
सब- because how divert जाता है कि fuck this child, bro.
I don't know. I just feel
fuck
like
off.
our circle's not like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Nor are our families like that. Like you know how my
And
family's
Do you
been, right?
expect? When do you expect to have a child? What's the
Before we get to
What's
that,
the
Most
age?
bad idea is just बच्चा कर लो भाई. एक तो पहली वाइफ पसंद नहीं, then you come home, बच्चा भी रो रहा है. Scene खराब.
दोनों मिलके गाली देंगे ना उसे.
तेरी वजह से.
So
तेरा ही बच्चा.
one more thing, I have had the fortune of talking to really skilled coders and engineers, but when I have that talk about technology and AI with them, at the last 10 minutes of the talk, they tell me that they're gonna have an arranged marriage. I don't understand that. If you're so visionary in life, does that not apply to everything?
See, the thing is,
I don't like-
Okay, dude.
I don't mind it.
I don't understand
mind
it.
I don't
The
understand
thing
it,
is,
but it's a very.
the thing is, my parents have better standards than I do for myself.
No,
So
but
why
if
not?
the arranged marriage 20 years from now
Better
doesn't turn out to be
decision-making as well
no,
for
but hear me out. If the arranged marriage turns out to not be as good
So I
as you
can blame
expected
them.
it to be,
You got me this woman.
you're gonna be resentful towards your own parents. That's gonna spoil your relationship.
Nah, of course.
No,
not.
but
I won't do that.
I feel like arranged
I
marriage,
won't do
like, of course, I don't know anyone who has been arranged, but I feel like it's, as a concept, it's the same thing as a dating app, except your options are limited and the trajectory of your relationship is fixed.
And that after the first match, you have to uninstall the app.
Yeah, and you uninstall the
Yeah.
app. Yeah, straight up. You meet this person, you
Mm.
take a couple minutes, you think about it, and my entire experience of understanding this is through films, which is pretty sad, but you still see it. These people meet, they talk, they're like, Hanji, meri side se haan hai. And then it's like, okay, whatever. 3 weeks later, marriage is happening, and it's like a full big
3
fat
weeks later.
whatever. Big fat Indian weddings been taking place, and but then you do see these people make it because it's like this part of their life is done. They don't think. You know how you said there's other priorities. That aspect is done. They don't have to think about it anymore. It's a tick mark and set to the side and kept inside a drawer. And it's like, I have a wife. But
Yeah, they're
like
gonna
I have a friend who was dating this girl back in school, and the relationship kept getting more and more serious. Then he left for further studies.
Yeah.
She followed. She also went for further studies to study abroad. And I don't know how serious this relationship was in his head when he was leaving. I don't know if he wanted to continue dating. I don't know whether he wanted to break up. But now, since they have been together for like nearly more than a decade, or a decade by now, and that aspect of his life is ticked off. He's like not thinking of breaking up. He's not thinking of anything. Yes, there's complacency. Yes, there's that aspect, but it's like you're not experiencing a lot of things. You're not getting to understand a lot of things. You're not able to understand a lot of emotions. but he's now got time for every other thing in the world. Like he's working, he's got his college going on, he's doing things.
So that's the thing, right?
subjective, very
I mean,
subjective.
if it's good for you, if it's working out for
I
you,
feel like that's
then
why
do
arranged
you.
marriage is
Yeah.
good, because these people who either people get arranged marriage because their parents wanted,
Mm.
or actually these are a lot of people because I saw Indian matchmaking recently. By the way, very entertaining.
Oh, it
I
always,
haven't tried
always
it.
is.
Totally
I
watch
love
it.
that.
I haven't
love
seen it ever.
But
I love it.
but-
It's amazing.
Where is it?
But basically, it's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's very Janani-ish, but it's amazing.
It's
Of course.
beautiful. It's the
You
best
won't
thing
like
ever.
it.
You'll
It's very
forget.
fun.
You'll
I would
forget.
like-
He'll love it.
You'll
I'm
forget
telling you.
Ryan Gosling
Yeah,
left,
I'm
right, and
offended
center.
now. Yeah.
I love cringe, but I can't watch that shit.
Oh,
You
I
haven't
love
tried it.
I love it.
You haven't tried it.
But coming back to it, like
Mm.
I saw on that, like there's people who are like, oh yeah, I've dated a lot of people, but now I'm 36 and now I'm looking for a match. And you know, they go to this matchmaker and they get things done, or they ask their parents to find someone. That's when I feel like companionship is good, because then you have that person with you all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think love is the feeling.
Mm.
It's more comfort.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
a, it's
Comfort.
a,
it's
it
like,
comes
it's
from
like,
a place
it's
of
like, if, it's
security.
like
Yeah.
if concepts like marriage and love and stuff like that didn't exist, Ahaan and I would be living together
Yep.
Exactly.
for the
that's
rest of
what
our
I-
life.
so that's-
We'd be
yeah.
sorted, dude. None of us would know how to cook.
Who knows? You
unfortunately.
might still end up.
You hire
We
your
100%, dude.
100%.
Who knows?
40. Our pact is at 40. It's happening. But
So in
I pitched this idea to another friend of mine. Like, if let's not get married, we'll buy a property.
Hmm.
We'll build one whole house, 2 different partitions to it,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we'll live. तेरी family तू चला मैं अपनी ऐसा देख-
family की जरूरत भी नहीं है like
Brotherhood.
क्यों भाई अपने mom dad को
नहीं, mom dad से वो अलग है
family की जरूरत नहीं है love की नहीं है family की है
no, but
Love overrated.
absolutely, I can absolutely see. Like, I'm very much looking forward to now going and studying ahead, because I'm going to be staying with Ahaan and my other best friend,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to it, because literally that's the thing I'm excited for. Literally living with that one guy and doing my course. Oh my
Hmm.
god, this is like a dream come true. I'm literally with full comfort.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to be there together.
No, not him. I'm
Oh.
going to be staying with Javi.
Javi.
Oh shit, I'm still jealous now.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great because we've grown up together. We
Right.
know everything about each other.
Yeah.
100% there's love,
Mm.
right? As you like to put it, homosexuals,
yeah
right? Well, 100% there, man. Like, it's great. Do I need anything else? Nope.
so
I'm sorted.
so coming back to you said family is important. I can't imagine you living with your parents, 2 40-year-old men just bringing women left right and center.
They
My
have-
parents are right there in the
No,
corner.
no, that's what I'm
But why
saying.
not?
I'm
But
building
those
that house,
things
but I
don't
have a
exist.
separate place for them.
Why not though?
I'm saying if
I don't
there's
think his parents would be keen on that.
the only
After
reason,
a point, they
Times
won't-
change, people change.
Yeah.
no, the only reason I say that, if marriage and women and dating
Yeah.
and love
Yeah.
and all those
Yeah.
things weren't like the biggest things, and actually something that, let's face it, it is something that's on our minds eventually.
100%.
Right? Once college is done,
Yeah.
once we're settled in our
Not
careers,
really.
we are thinking
But
like,
like,
you know, I'm not
way in
saying
the
we
future.
need to. I'm not
Way
saying
in
we
the
need to.
future.
Mm.
But it is, why not?
Mhm.
Right? Why not have a girlfriend? Why not eventually
Where-
date? Why not
where
eventually
do
get
you-
married? Have a child eventually? Why
Okay,
not?
let me bring up something then, what I believe personally. And which is why also, like, it's not really our position to talk about it right now. We can't comment about it because we aren't really familiarized with what it's like to be married. It's not our stage in life. ऐसे बचपन में ही थोड़ा ना पता था college में क्या कर रहे
But it's
होंगे.
always fun to comment about things
Yeah.
which we have no idea about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
That is why we are in this podcast together.
Pretty much.
So,
So you don't know this? I don't know this.
why
Let's talk.
I don't really
It's more organic that way.
why I really don't like the institution of marriage is because I believe personally throughout your life it's alright to have separate partners. Like it need not be necessary that at a certain stage in life, when I was 27 and I got married, the same person and I have the same thought process and have the same goals in life and have the same shit going together when we're 40. So being with that person and settling because I know this is comfortable
So you
limits my chance to meet
so are you-
somebody
so
greater.
TLDR
at
The
40.
girl
No, so
in
wait,
the
hold up.
situationship is watching like
No,
this.
so-
What's going
Hold
on?
up,
You
hold
say?
up, hold up, hold up. TLDR, you want multiple women.
She knows about this.
You want multiple women, that's what you mean, right? TLDR.
Not
She doesn't
multiple
want to
women.
limit his potential. That's what
Not
he's saying.
multiple
That's what it
But the
means.
thing is, when
No,
you feel
I'm
like,
saying what if? Why do you want to
I
limit
feel
yourself?
Like, I
Maybe
feel like
you
you're
find
quantifying something that shouldn't be quantified.
no, but
As in?
You're quantifying. This can't be quantified. You know, there's no limit here. You
there's
can't.
no
There's no
limit.
potential here.
I have no
but
idea what you guys are talking about.
Ahaan,
right?
Ahaan,
I don't
I have
understand
no
what
idea.
tangent you took
Ahaan,
here.
Do
let me.
you understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely know what you're saying. We've actually spoken about this before. But the thing is, when you, things like potential, success, things like making it or whatever, right? You decide what your cap is, right? Now, if you are dating a girl that I think is you can do better, that's my bias towards you and what I think of you or how I perceive that, oh, that person is actually not good enough. But it's good that you're dating. You know, she's good for you and whatnot. I think you can do better, but it's all right. Whatever you're having in your life is good. If you're satisfied with it, that's your cap.
Mm.
You're there. So
Mhm.
right now you're saying multiple women, out of course not having experience, out of also this desire of meeting more people and connections and socializing and just having your experiences. But maybe your girl comes around, or boy,
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
open to
boy,
it.
we're open-
Very,
yeah.
very accepting and
But-
open-minded.
Or a fish of them.
Or
or a fish, or a fish to them. No, but maybe someone comes around and you look at that person, and this is where Indian love comes back into play, where you're like, yeah, man, this is it. This is the girl I chase, and this is the girl I get, and this
And I
is the
look
girl I
forward
end
to
up.
that.
But yeah,
You can't-
I
that
would
is-
love that.
No,
I would love
I'm
that.
saying like I feel like that's when it gets capped. Right now, I'm not saying who you're with isn't the one, because you still have to grow a lot, and then once you guys have
I
grown
but
enough
it
to
gets-
know.
But
I-
it gets
Yeah.
capped as long as you guys are conducive to each other's growth
I
and
don't
aims and aspects in
think-
life,
of
and you have
course.
the same ideology.
Dude,
So let's
personally,
say it
yeah.
ceases to be the case
Yeah.
when I'm 45 or 50.
Mm.
Then why would I still hang around with a deadbeat marriage, just carrying my weight around and not being happy in that shit, and even them carrying them around and then they're also
so
not
I
happy.
don't- then you have
I
to-
think,
I'd
I
rather
think
cut
that's a
them
unique.
loose.
I think that's
No,
a unique
Nick,
approach
but
to
bacha
life.
kar lena.
Hate
so
them.
that you can hate
them
on the
together.
same.
So hate on the same case.
So yeah, so but I would like to add or maybe conclude this part is by saying that personally, I as an individual, I think I'm very traditionalist when it comes to my love life,
yeah.
futurist when it comes to my work, but maybe my ideas around love are not that futuristic yet. Maybe I don't want them to be, but I think to each his own, and I respect
100%.
everyone's own. And maybe again to Just Karan's older point that you hate the game when you're losing at it. Maybe I say this because every time I am in a situationship, I'm the one who catches feelings.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right? Like right
yeah.
now for
I'm the
him
one who
also, I'm
catches
saying
Yeah,
feelings
likewise. I think
that's what I'm saying for him also.
not anymore,
that
but likewise.
he is in a situationship. I'm not saying that person can't be the one.
Yeah.
That's for them to make a decision later. But if the person eventually grows up to his liking and whatever, they've also grown, had experiences together and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, then maybe he's like, this is the person because he's won it.
Mm.
He got. There is a checklist, right? At some point, there is a checklist with who you want to be with,
Right.
what you want to do,
Yeah.
what are your achievements.
You
I
want
mean,
them to
bucket
be
list,
a
right?
similar
Bucket list of
level
everything,
somehow.
right?
Bro, I
There's a
leave
bucket
things on
list
the
of-
universe, honestly. I
No,
do
but
have-
there is a bucket list of everything, right? Like for instance, like the studio that we're sitting in, the person who are making the studio is like, yeah, I need this in it, I need this, I
Mhm.
need an air conditioner, I need.
Yeah.
There's always
But-
things that you make a list of.
But the thing is, love life cannot be quantified. You cannot.
I'm not
keep
saying
a
you can
cap
quantify
at,
it, but
okay,
no,
I'm
but
gonna-
that's what I'm saying. At some point you're going to meet a person, and I hope that happens soon. But you're going to meet the person and just going to be like, yeah, this person's kind of gothic. She listens to metal and jazz.
Can I get a
Ooh.
number?
And
Oi,
and
oi,
and
mine,
smoke
mine, mine.
and smoke cigars occasionally
Yeah.
and likes to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
there is a checklist.
Yeah, there is that.
And
I mean, for her,
watches anime with him as well. Yeah.
Is Japanese.
It's
Oh.
Japanese.
Like,
or
is
Italian.
anime.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't
Doesn't
exist.
exist.
No, but like
Oh,
this,
she is in my head already.
Yeah.
yeah, like
She's
I
there
have
already.
mental issues.
Take your meds.
have issues, like stuff like that. But suddenly there is a list that you look at and you're like, if this person has, let's say, 7 out of these 10,
Yeah.
I am attracted to this person.
Right.
For Ahaan's case.
Because
like,
even
100%.
getting that 7 out of 10 benchmark is so rare now that you're
Exactly.
automatically going to be like,
and
by the process of elimination, you're going to be like, this is the one.
and why not have, and I'm not saying you should have a type, because you could also randomly go to, like, you're just about to go to UK, right? You're going to be sitting in pubs all the time. I literally tell this
Bro,
to you all the
I
time.
think if you have a type, you haven't seen enough types.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. No,
That's
I
very well
agree.
said.
That's
I concur.
absolutely
Put it on the
agree.
merch.
I will.
That's agreed upon. But
Yeah.
I feel like if he's sitting in a pub having a drink and he sees this girl
Mm.
who's not gothic, who's not 5'2", and whatever his ideal fantasy is, but he ends up seeing this girl who's absolutely gorgeous.
Mm.
He's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go ask
Of
for her
course,
number
yeah.
and maybe see where this goes, and then maybe give me a call 3 days later.
And then
like,
maybe
"Oh, dude,
tell her later that, now you're going to dress up like a goth.
that's just him.
And also watch anime.
And you watch. That's where it's weird.
But do you
But-
do you think when you get with a girl who's not kind of like you, do you tend to make or mend her or like make her feel malleable and kind of shift her towards how you?
No, but
are?
as you said before, everyone gets influenced by one another, right?
Yeah.
So eventually,
Hmm.
the girl that you're dating, she's gonna start using your
Yeah.
lingo. You're
She
gonna
also
start
won't
using.
know she's
You're gonna
getting
start
trans-
using her lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be start saying things that her friends say. She's gonna start saying things that your family says. Like nobody calls me Aryan. Let's face it. But like,
Yeah.
right? Like actually, no one calls me that. But like, because it's a family name. Like
Yeah.
actually, it's only my parents have called me Aryan,
Right.
or maybe like 1 or 2 other people.
Mm.
So sometimes, like, I have seen it happen that, like, my ex-girlfriend used to call me Aryan, or
Mm.
she used to call me Ari.
Mm.
That's how you get influenced or mended into each other's life,
Ah.
which is a very normal thing. But if you suddenly take into charge where you're like, no,
And-
you will listen to metal. Honey, forget
Honey.
pop. And
Yeah.
you're like, ऐसे वो नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है, वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया.
To what you said, that's how you become whole. You become one.
That's how you become whole,
right?
right?
And
Like,
then the inevitable breakup happens, and then a guy shows up who you think is new, but you just never knew,
Oh.
right?
yo, when is the merch coming? Yo,
He's keeping it.
Can I
He's
get a
keeping his-
pre-booking?
He has
Can
a
I get
list
a
in his head.
pre-booking
He
on
has a
that?
list.
He has a
Yeah.
list in his head for
It's true.
sure.
Yo, I'll
It's
model
true.
for sure.
It's
He's
true, right?
gatekeeping. He has a
He's
list in his head.
gatekeeping, 100%.
Get them
I'm just
oversized.
scoping. I just hedge
Get
my
that
public
oversized
statements.
fit rocking with it.
For
It's
sure,
in,
bro.
it's in trend these days.
It's just the sad thing with these things is that even when you do become whole and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and as you said, the inevitable breakup happens.
Yeah,
When you do come back into the reality,
right.
it is only filled with situationships
Oh,
and
this
this
was reality.
non-stop stuff that's going on, which is this drama, this
Hmm.
gamification.
Yeah.
That's where it's, I feel like, really bad, because that's where it makes the actual authentic, or you know how you said that you're traditional. I'm pretty old-fashioned in the way I like to, approach love and
Of course, yeah.
do those things.
Yeah.
Suddenly you become slightly cynical. I used to be like
Mhm.
the biggest hopeless romantic. I remember this. You remember this in school, even after
You
school.
still
dude.
are. You
I
still
still
are.
am, but it goes down,
But the faith has been tainted because of the
and
experiences.
it's not just the experience. Of course, experiences you can have good or bad, and that can also shape
Yeah.
how you think about things. But the thing is, let's say that I give you great food for 2 days, everything under the sun that you wanted.
Yeah.
Then I leave you stranded in the forest. You come out of the forest,
Mm.
and now suddenly you're like, oh, I'm back to reality. I'm gonna now eat all the food I want to, and the food is still crap. You're gonna be like,
But that's
that
a
sucks.
shift of perspective, right?
No, but no.
That's pretty
it's
good
not.
analogy,
It's not
though.
because you went to the forest and you
Mm.
came back. You're like, food is crap because no. It's just the food that you had before. You're never gonna get that food again.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, this is crap. Like, I don't care now. Before I would have actually cared if you still get what you had,
Mm,
not the same.
Mm.
If you get it again, you'll be really happy. But that doesn't exist because when you come back, it's only situationships.
I would like to link this with what I had to say about the overrated nature of love.
Of course.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This man
As the theme,
this man has love in his life but hates love.
hates
Yeah.
it. Hates
He
it.
hates
So,
it.
he loves it.
I think he's the
don't
only
hate it.
person here
Hate
who
is a
who's-
very strong
I think he's the only person here who's in a situationship and still so against
yeah.
it.
How could
No,
I
he
wanna be-
loves situationships, right? He hates the over glorification.
I
of love.
just
Yeah.
love new experiences.
But
Which is
you
what I'm
hate,
getting.
but love is
Not even
Ah,
new experiences.
yeah, but
But
love
isn't-
is overrated.
But
but
isn't
not
love a
even
new
new
experience every day?
experiences.
You learn
It's
something
just something new. Yeah.
You learn about that guy which you never knew. It's a new experience.
Yeah, of course.
Yo, we need to have like 8 episodes of this. this topic. No, but so you
yeah.
love new experiences.
Link, not even new experiences for that matter, just
But you love
something new
them.
to do. Yeah, just
But
it
love
should be
is
something
overrated.
exciting that I look forward to.
But love is overrated.
Yeah, of course.
I wanna
So then what do you
ask,
do with new experiences?
I just
Something
I
then.
get to something new.
I something them.
On to something new. On to the next one.
That should
how
also
I
be a
get it.
thing. I
I
something
have,
new.
I have a question at the back of my mind, but
Yeah.
it's a bit, deviates
Bring
us
it to
from
the
this topic.
forward.
Let me
Yeah,
get
I want you
down
to
with
conclude
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Let me
Yeah.
conclude it
Yeah.
with this. So what he said about the forest, the whole analogy about it, that was a
was
very
really
good
good,
one.
Great
by the way.
analogy, man.
That was a great one.
I'm
I
surprised.
think I've heard of this.
I'm
I've
surprised.
already heard of it.
I mean,
You told
I
me.
tell you random analogies
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
But I would link it to another analogy of mine, which so about the overrated nature of love. Let's say you put so much emphasis to the fact that it's so important and you need it in your life, and it brings love, joy, makes it worth living, gives it a purpose. I have somebody who likes me, it gives you validation as well, fulfills your needs on the hierarchy.
Maslow's.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Man. But then again,
Yeah.
it's just how you don't realize the fact that once that, let's say, it gets stolen or it gets changed, like you
Right.
just said, you're off a relationship or onto a new situationship. Let's say while you were in that relationship, you were supposed to go to Tokyo. That was the plan of your travel. But the flight had to get deviated due to whatever circumstances, and now you're in Rome.
Mm.
That doesn't mean that Rome sucks. So therefore, if you aren't in that relationship which you so desired, or you thought love is what is there for me, but you're not love, maybe you're hooking up, you find casual partners, or you don't find anyone at all. That doesn't mean that situation is bad. You're still in Rome. You're still somewhere. You
No,
still
but
have some
that's-
place to
that's-
go to,
Yeah.
and you still have some things to look forward to.
Right.
Which can obviously, when I say about the new experiences, which can obviously be a new dynamic, which just because you aren't prepared for, you're not accustomed to, or which hasn't been fed into you. Like this whole culture about hooking up or the casual scene or whatever it is, the gamification, it's pretty new to all of us, especially in the Indian culture. And as we're all progressing with the whole internet generation, it's not something we are accustomed to, because especially with Bollywood, which has been a great influence on what our love lives should be and have been,
Mm.
which is also the reason why I'm guessing none of us got girls in school. because Bollywood ने सबका दिमाग इतना corrupt किया
No,
था.
no comments. No
Game
comments.
उसके reverse में चल
No
रही है.
comments.
Moment
No
of silence.
No comments.
5 minutes silence, okay?
Let's
So
move on.
Of course,
skip 5 minutes
let's
ahead,
move
guys.
on.
There's gotta be a reason why 4 guys in a room are talking about love for so long.
No,
No,
but-
it's,
but
it's
he-
just
he
you.
had-
It's just you.
had-
No,
I'll speak for
but
myself.
coming
I
back
speak
to
for
what,
myself. Let me
Yeah.
finish.
literally what you had said, that sometimes it are the experiences that taint you out, right? Like
Right,
if
right.
you said that the flight got deviated,
Yeah.
imagine if it wasn't Rome and it was freaking
Bangladesh.
No, that's imagine the plane got deviated and instead of taking you to Rome, it took you to like the worst parts of like some other city.
Hmm.
You know, and you land and you're like, dude, there's nothing here. There's no McDonald's.
That's
Like
what
South-
life
like
wants
South
for me.
Sudan.
Man. I
Like
would
something-
find out. I
something-
would fuck around, find out, and
You know,
still
you
survive.
land in some random part of
Yeah.
UK where there's nothing. There's no buildings. There's nothing. You're stuck.
And then you're gonna hate it.
Suddenly you're gonna hate it, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, यार मैं टोक्यो में होता ना कितनी better life होती मेरी.
Not at all. Then I would. Then again, survive.
I think there's so
survival of
many,
the
so
fittest.
many.
No,
You adapt, achieve,
variables.
overcome.
of course.
whatever that is.
But are you saying you'd prefer that random city versus Rome?
I
No,
would
right?
obviously prefer, as human nature, one would obviously prefer what the
Exactly.
plans
You know
are.
what, just
But
that's
the
whatever you
thing,
plan
that's
for.
the-
Just
but
Karan,
that's the thing.
you only love the adventurous nature of your life and the experiences when you have a subtle survivorship bias to it, right? If things
That I'll
happened
survive.
well,
That's what you mean, no?
yeah.
Okay.
If things happened well, if you made money, if a relationship went well, you're always going to be speaking good things about it, right?
Hmm.
To the contrary, it's going to be the opposite. So I think there's an element of survivorship bias to everything we do.
Yeah, it's fight or
Situation,
flight,
right?
right?
Mm.
Like, and you're gonna face this. You're genuinely gonna face this within the next 6 months, right? You're going to be sitting in this town where you're going to suddenly like hate lots of things or love lots of things, and you will have this fight or flight moment where you'll be like, yeah, do I want to do this? Do I want to continue doing what I'm doing? Do
Yeah.
I want to change my routine? Do I want to change?
But
the
this
friends I have?
sticks to in the first phase of your life. It doesn't. It's not there for the rest of it.
No, my
It's
brother.
always
it
going to be
isn't.
there, man.
No, it's always
Why
gonna
not?
be there, dude.
You're always
Think
gonna be
about it.
learning.
My brother
Mm.
switched professions so late, right? Fight or flight, right? Straight up. Has been continuing to do it for the last couple of years. Still fight or flight, right? There's not 1 minute where it's like, yeah, now I'm chilling. I got the millions I wanted. No, you still have to freaking put in the work, and you are constantly in this limbo of a moment. So whether it's me changing careers, whether it's you now going for masters, dude, you don't know what's going on. You're just going with what you feel is correct, right? You think doing masters right now is the right thing for you to do, right? And the why you think this is because you got into one of the nicest institutions. But if you hadn't gone into a nice institution, if you would have gone into some shit university or whatever, you'd be like, is masters the right decision? Like,
But the best part is there's no way to ever find out. You can only
Yeah.
do
until
it.
unless you do the thing,
You
right?
can-
Like you
Yeah.
need
So,
to.
yeah.
Like I had such like and it's so cool that you had us on the show because despite going through to the same
Yeah.
school, we've actually perceived things very differently.
Differently.
Like, you know,
That's-
he
that,
said
that was
he
the idea.
because
Right.
he said like he didn't have any expectations going into college.
Yeah.
I had a lot of expectations going to London because I took my gap year, took another gap year because of pandemic. I had crazy expectations, knowing 50% of our friend circle is sitting there, hyping it up every single day for me.
Mm.
I reached there and those expectations were met on certain levels and
Mm.
completely destroyed on many levels. And then all the other things happening in my life added to it.
So to make this topic whole, unlike any of us, what my main point being here is
Let's make it a
that
situationship.
no, but the thing is that regardless of what happens, what could have been is always a mirage, and it's something called analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to be thinking that no, this could have
Should've
been
done
better,
this, yeah,
that could have
should've
been
done
better,
that.
True.
but you don't account into it the different variables, which can be as nuanced as taking the wrong cab on that day.
Yeah.
So there's no way to find out.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's futile to have any regrets. Whatever's happened has happened, and it might not have worked
That's
in
why
your
I say
favor.
go risk on, man.
Yeah,
Do-
No,
It
but
might
I
not
think
work
it's
in your
also
favor.
good to regret some things because that also makes you more aware of
Do you have
certain
any
things.
regrets?
I don't.
We all
But
do,
that's
I
also
mean,
because
I don't think I have any regrets.
No, but the thing is, I don't regret them now because of everything that I learned from it. But possibly like certain decisions that I took, like that bartending job I had,
Yeah.
I did regret it in that minute
Yeah.
heavily because
Yeah.
the hours were
It's
killing.
It's not like you didn't fuck up. I fucked up, but
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
regret
saying
fucking
it's
up.
Fuck
just-
ups are
it's
very
just-
subjective, right? What you might have, someone might call our podcast a fuck up over its worth. But
yeah.
doesn't matter to me, doesn't matter to you,
Mm.
right? So
I'm talking about myself, like pondering about my own actions
Yeah.
in a relationship or in
No,
even
but
an
you-
organization.
I feel like in the minute,
Well,
it's okay to regret certain things. And I'm not saying regret. I think it's okay to question certain things. Like I
Mm.
questioned my decisions at that bar, or I questioned. Like I'm glad I didn't take the decisions of booking a random hotel and living in it. Instead, I chose to pull all nighters and have fun with friends. Of course, now I look back, I'm like, that was such a stupid thing to do. Like I could have been like safe. Like so many. You said variables, right? So many other things could have happened. But it's good that I still went with it and I questioned in the minute, and now I don't question it at all because I'm happy. Because of that I love my house.
Dude. Yeah.
Everything does change, so I feel like it's okay to make the wrong decisions sometimes because they do bring something really good out of it. And it's very I know it's a crossroad kind of a thing to say make wrong decisions sometimes, but make decisions.
Make decisions, yeah.
Make
And then
decisions
let-
about
Just
it.
do your best.
I'm going to college in August. I still don't think I'm 100% about this. Like
I'm
I'll
telling
never
you-
know. I'll never know.
We would never be 100% about
No,
it.
and
Yeah.
you're not going
And that's
to
the
be.
most beautiful
Yeah.
part about life.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like-
That's why you just got to make decisions.
So
At that point in
yeah.
time, whatever as per your
I
experiences and whatever limited knowledge you have about the situation and your overall thought process, just take a decision and you'll get to know. It's good, bad, whatever.
I second that, dude, 100%.
Later on, you can take a better decision based on that experiences. It only adds
Provided
to
you
the
learn from
tally.
it. Provided you learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm going to check the cameras.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
do it, man.
I've always this calm in the storm. The camera might not be rolling, and then you're like, shit, it's rolling. It's all good.
So bad.
Huh?
I think we're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon.
Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon.
God,
So
it feels
I-
so hot in here.
I have a question for Aaron.
1 second, let me sit.
Yeah. He's up.
Found the spot. Yes. You have a question for me?
It's very simple. The question is, can anyone sing?
Yes.
No, but like, let's talk more realistically. Can
100%,
anyone sing
100%.
and make it into a career?
100%. I am.
No, but like,
No,
can,
but
can
can
I
I do
sing?
it? Can I do
100%.
it?
I don't know how to sing, dude. I still don't think I know. I'm very insecure about my voice, and I've been working on it. That's why I'm going and studying more so I can reach that level of confidence.
Right.
But I used to, these guys know it from school. I never sang in school. I used to play guitar, and we had a friend of ours who is a born singer, dude. He knows how to sing, and he still sings, and it really makes us all listen to his voice, and he's so much better than
But
me.
you know, to be frank with you, it's one thing to know what you're good at in life, but I think it's also equally important to know what you're not good at in life. Personally,
100%.
I know for myself, singing is not one of my skills that I'm really strong at or natural at. And I've seen people who think that singing is something which they're designed to do,
Of course.
but I can't go up to them and tell them that you're actually pretty bad at what you're doing. And
Yeah.
because I'm no one to, first of all. But even secondly, that
No, but-
realization,
But you are one too. You know why?
yeah.
Just
When
the
I
audience.
make music, I can question the technical, the theoretical aspects.
Yeah.
Before, when I didn't know those things, I used to just question it on whatever understanding I had of music. Now, of course, I've been studying for so long and did a full degree and everything. Now, of course, the way I understand it is very different. But still date, when I make music, my first person to play the song is to mom, who
Right.
knows nothing about it,
Right.
but she can tell me if it's good or not.
Tell me something. Do you guys think that it's good to be your harshest critic?
Yeah, you are. That's why.
So do you
You always are.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Dude,
that-
You always are.
I wake up hating myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think I go to the
So-
gym? I hate myself.
So doesn't that also limit your opportunities of putting yourself out there?
It
As
does.
well as
It
being
does.
confident with
I
yourself.
think I do it more because
as well as self-love.
I think I do it more because I always feel like I'm lacking something. I feel like I've always missed out on something. Looking around, there are people more talented than me, people more well built than me, people more athletic, just doing much more better in life, making more money, making more dough. So that I dislike that. That's
And to that,
stuff about
I
me.
think a lot of perfectionists, quote unquote, are just complacent.
100%.
complacent.
Yeah,
How can you say that about a perfectionist?
A perfectionist is often complacent.
How
Dude,
can you say that?
I feel
What
like
do you mean
when
by
it comes to sound engineering,
That's completely
I'll
two
tell you
different
why.
words.
I
I'll
like to
explain-
make it
I'll
about
explain.
myself right now, but as a sound engineer, I spent so long fixing just the tiniest details
Yeah.
in certain projects, because of which I never put them out.
Exactly, that's what my point
And I'm
is.
never going
yeah?
to put it out. I'm not complacent about my job. I'm not
Right.
That's
complacent
not
about
complacency.
working.
No,
I'm
but-
not complacent about working.
Yeah.
I'm complacent about sharing it.
That's not complacency.
No, but it is. I'll tell
That
you why.
is not
na.
complacency.
I'll tell you why.
It does
I'll tell you
segue
why.
into it.
The
I
thing
mean, again, a
is,
fine line, right?
yeah,
It does.
I
it
mean,
does find it.
it's a blurred line, right?
It's a
a
very
blurred
blurred
line.
line,
The
yeah.
thing is कि some people would like to have a perfect life and ये ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो वैसा होना चाहिए. And if they see from a distance that they're not gonna get that, they just end up not doing it at all.
Yeah.
They're not waiting for the feedback. They're not waiting for the lesson. They're not paying the price for
You
education.
don't hate yourself as much then. That's it. Just
Maybe
hate
I
yourself a
don't,
lot.
but maybe that's a good thing.
Fair enough. I feel like when you're this age,
Yeah.
you have to fuck yourself up.
Why?
You have-
I just
No, you
think
have
so.
to fuck yourself
I
up,
just think
but
so.
fucking yourself is not noble if you're not doing the right thing for you.
I wanna put myself in the most uncomfortable positions I can at this age because I can't then. Huh?
But that's not fucking yourself up.
That is.
That's being
like-
sadist. That's being a sadist
No,
towards
that's
yourself.
barely being
that's
outside the
no,
comfort
that's
zone.
the same thing as going to a gym and lifting the weight that you're not capable and conditioning your body eventually to lift it. It's
That's
the
just barely
exact same
being
thing.
outside the
I
comfort
put
zone.
myself in difficult situations not because I wanted to be learn from it, but I want to condition myself. Now when I've come back and I'm looking at certain things, my view of it is changed because the things that used to gross me out before don't gross me out. The things that used to scare me before don't scare me at all. I used to be so scared of walking alone in New Delhi.
Mm.
I am not. I went to like the shadiest part yesterday and I wasn't afraid 1%. Anything could have gone south there. I know if my parents were to see where I was hanging out, they were like, what the hell is going on, dude? Come back home. This is not safe.
What the hell is going on, Arindu?
I know, no, but like I didn't really question it because I saw the worst bits of a different place and
Yeah.
that conditioned me.
The stabbing capital of the world.
Exactly. So I lived or was able to do reps with that. Hence, I'm able to do this now.
So you must be seeing a lot of junkies on the street.
All the time in
Right,
London. That's dude, it's crazy. Especially I was in East London, right? It's filled with people like that. And I remember because I lived in this place called Shoreditch.
Yeah.
It's filled with junkies, and I used to be so scared to go and get food after college because college would end say at like 7 p.m. sometimes, and it gets dark at 4 p.m. Right? I used to be really scared to like go outside and get food because I was like, I don't know how it's going to be, and should I just order? And then I feel bad for ordering because the delivery charge is so much, and there's a service tax, and every like a £1 meal becomes like 11 quid or something. I used to really be scared. Dude, after those 4, 5, 6 weeks of just continuously, finally I was friends with those people. I was like walking around like, hey, what's up? Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to have a burger? They're like, nah, we're good.
Nah, I'm
"Oh,
good with
man,
crack."
shit." And they're chilling dude, and I realized
That's
those-
cheaper.
and I was literally talking to these people who were completely high, completely not in their senses, but they're saying the funniest things and they're living their life. And I realized these people are not actually going to ever harm me
Mm.
because what they want, they have.
Mm.
They don't need anything from me.
Mm.
And because they're in such a stoned position, I am always going to outrun them.
So you found the humanity in the crackhead.
100%.
Yeah.
What, dude?
It's
If
poetic.
the person is drunk,
Yeah.
that person still has the energy to do something to me, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I would go to a club and I'd be walking outside of a lane,
Mm.
I would think twice before entering it if I thought it's slightly shady, because if there's any drunk person, I know they're capable of harming me if that is something on their mind. Or,
Right.
if they want to mug me, they
Mm.
can go to the extent of
Mm.
hurting me to take something from me. But if a person is stoned out of their mind or high out of their mind,
Mm.
they're slow.
Yeah.
They're hella slow. And
No,
they're
wow,
hella
that is-
weak.
I like how calculative you are, and in the bigger scheme of things, I just imagine how calculative women have to be with all these things.
100%.
Yeah,
there's-
100%, dude.
Stepping out. Okay, London, East London, junkies. I'd still consider that to be a bit safer.
I wouldn't
Than
necessarily
Delhi.
say.
No,
Than
dude.
Delhi.
Then I
Than
went to
Delhi,
East-
yeah.
then I went to
100%
Hackney,
is.
then I went to Hackney.
Rape capital of the country.
Yeah, I'm not taking that away at all. But that's the thing, right? Like, you have to be aware. And for me, it's easier to say that, I put myself in difficult situations because things could have gone south. But, as you said, like, women have to think about these things a lot more. I was in Hackney, which is East London, and stabbings were happening constantly. And it was like people were getting stabbed like on the street I was living. And I was like,
Did you ever see anything happen
yeah,
live?
yeah, I saw like 16, 17 people pull up at like 2:30 p.m. on bikes, stop their bikes, get off on a bus stop, stab a guy, and go, and everybody was normal.
What was your first reaction to it?
Dude, my jaw dropped. I was like, मुझे घर जाना है. मुझे India भेज दो,
So the guy
please.
died on spot.
I have no idea.
Probably. Who knows?
Ambulance
16,
came
17 guys
like
stabbing
ambulance
you.
came like
Maybe
20
ran over
minutes
by
later,
another car.
took the guy away. No information, and stabbings are constantly happening there. But it's just I started adapting to that area. I started dressing in a certain way where I didn't look flashy. I kept my beard there really long. You FaceTime me, do you remember? I used to keep a really long beard because I knew that I look much older, and because I'm not the most groomed and the most clean, I used to still keep grooming myself as much as I could, but I still had a long beard. It made me look scarier. It made me look older. And dude, I did like get into a fight over there. I did talk up to certain people. I was walking around lots of junkies, and I was never afraid of walking around them because I was like, A, I look like one of them. Second, if I don't look like I have anything, they're not gonna come after me.
Right.
Great. This one time I was sitting in a bus and this woman was getting harassed for no reason by this drunk guy or something, and he kept like scooting closer and closer to her on the seat and saying, "What's up, baby girl? What you doing? Where you going?"
Yeah,
And she
so-
just kept avoiding it, like saying, "No English, no English, sorry, no English." Finally, she like got creeped out and she went and sat her head on like the seat, like 3 rows ahead. And then he like went and just like stood literally like this close to her and just kept looking at her. Dude, and in my head I'm going, why is no one doing this? And why is this guy doing this? And I finally got up, full beard and wearing like this really like ripped trousers with this really bad flannel jacket of mine. It made me look homeless, dude. I'm not even kidding. I went and I said, "What's up, man?" And that guy literally was scared. And that guy took 2 steps back. And I'm not a big guy.
But I want to really
I'm a
ask
pretty
you
scrawny
about
guy,
this,
okay?
but,
That guy got scared
but
and that girl was
Sarin-
so happy afterwards.
It's not about the dog
Did-
in the fight, it's
did
about the
you-
fight in the dog.
Yeah.
Do you think that was, but on the contrary to what you just said, like, do you think that was the right thing to do for you?
Exactly what I was getting
My mom
to.
said that to me as well. And my entire thing was, I'm not one to be a hero, but no one was saying anything at that point. And I said,
they
what's
don't
the
get
worst that
option.
could happen? This guy
I
could
would,
stab me right
I would
now.
like to ask this.
I was like,
honestly.
we'd get into the fight.
You know, even though I would ideally want to do what you did personally,
Yeah.
but there's a very, very high chance that I wouldn't risk it at the cost of getting stabbed in some other country, personally.
I
wouldn't.
literally, dude,
But
on
okay.
my face, I had like the best poker face, dude. You would have seen me, you would have been like, man,
Yeah.
I love you. I was so impressed with myself. Inside, I was like, please, mat Mario, please, mat Mario. Nahi, please, chaku na ho tere paas. Mere paas kyun nahi hai chaku?
So even though,
Like, stuff like that was going inside my head, but because I knew what I looked like,
yeah.
I knew I could scare the guy.
But I want to ask
Mhm,
this
yeah.
for my own for my own reference also, that even when you're posed in situations like these, let's say you were in this situation, or you see somebody who's physically making a woman uncomfortable, or anybody around you uncomfortable, even a guy for that matter. You case one where you know the person who is being made uncomfortable. Case B where you don't. What are you supposed to do in this
Case
situation?
one definitely get involved. Case two, I'd say also definitely get involved.
And you have a good chance of not having the outcomes in your favor.
Yeah,
It
dude,
could be,
I feel like
it could be a
I
scary,
feel like
tall, fat guy or whatever. Somebody who has pull,
Dude,
somebody who has people around him,
I
somebody who's
feel
got
like
his friends around.
I feel like we've all. I think men as a. I think everyone has just been pushing out through this whole scenario way too long.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
I-
I'm
you
gonna
can't-
be,
you can't-
I'm
you
gonna be
can't-
really straight up about it to you though.
Yeah.
Until and unless it's a family member or a friend or a significant other or anything like that, or someone who means a lot to me, I'm not risking my
How
life.
can you sleep well at night after that?
I'm not
Exactly.
risking,
You
no,
can't
but,
just
but
watch
I'm
your
not risking my
conscience.
life unless the person
understand.
matters
I
to me.
do
Okay, it's not
understand
about
that.
risking your life, but you might get slapped or whatever. You
No,
might
that's,
get into a scuffle.
that's fine. But,
But you can also-
if the person is armed,
They're not armed. We're talking about
They're
Delhi.
not armed. You can't see any.
Delhi. Let's say you're
Then-
in Delhi metro, random stranger harassing random woman.
then I'll do what I can do. But if the person happens to be armed, there's no way in hell
No,
that I'm
that's
getting
fair, that's
stabbed
fair.
by
That's-
someone else.
I didn't know if that guy was armed, but nor did he.
So even though you did the right thing on your part, my personal opinion is you did the wrong thing.
No,
No, and for my safety, I understand that it wasn't the smartest decision.
I care about
But genuinely, when you are in a situation like this, and I felt really good afterwards because of course what everyone else said to me,
Yeah.
because the bus stopped after
Right,
that. I got that guy kicked off the bus, and then everybody said like really nice things, and lots of elderly people were on that bus.
Yeah.
I actually felt really good about myself because I was like, I can't believe that I was able to do this, and I still look back and I'm like, that was a very scary moment that I had. Like I saw lots of scary things, and that was a very very scary.
Fight or flight to activate हो ही जाता है ऐसी situation
But
में.
in my head, constantly, I was thinking, inside, you're a child. You're the third child of this family who's not seen the world. But on the exterior, dude, you look really homeless.
Fake
Go
it
for
till
it.
you make it.
Yeah.
Fake it. Dude, I faked it so
if
hard.
if you were all dripped out and stuff,
I would have...
Then-
No, but then I would have...
yeah.
I would have questioned it a lot more before getting up. But I would have probably... Like, if I was wearing, like, a nice watch or something,
This is
I
very
would have taken
interesting.
it off. I would have
Yeah.
taken the watch off, put it in my pocket, and then gone. So that...
so intricate, you know.
like, I would
Exactly.
have... Like,
There's
I-
a lot of nuances to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
like I,
definitely.
whenever I used to like come back into Hackney from college, I would like take off all the jewelry
Yeah.
I was wearing, put them in my pockets, take my AirPods off, put them in
Yeah.
my pocket, and then be fully on the alert and then walk to the place. So that was my way of understanding and adapting to that area. But now in that fight or flight moment, I don't know if I was dripped out how I would react.
Wait.
But
I have a great comparison to make with this. So you told me that you took off your jewelry, kept everything that's expensive, that is flashy, that someone else can see. Would you equate that to what's happening with women wearing whatever they want to wear, and then men looking at them in a predatory way?
no,
Like,
but that
because-
does happen,
Not that
right?
great of
I'm
Like,
not
is
going to
it-
comment
is
too
it
much on
same?
it. I'm not going to.
Really? Because
No,
again-
I
again-
know exactly what you're trying to get
Yeah, I
from it.
understand what
But
you're
if
trying
you
to
see
do
lots
for
of
it.
our friends,
Mhm.
like sometimes they wear certain clothes, completely rightful, whatever they want to wear,
Yeah,
they can wear. They
100%.
go out, they go to clubs and stuff, and it's great. and they
But are they putting themselves to harm?
no, not
with
at all,
the
not
clothes
at
they
all,
wear?
not at all. But the thing is,
Because you are doing the same. Because you are
no,
taking
but
off the
because
jewelry
I know what no, but similarly how I am putting off the jewelry away.
Mm.
So many friends of ours, like when they're coming back home, if they're wearing, I'm not gonna use the word revealing, but if they're wearing something that shows a little bit of skin, haven't you noticed that sometimes people cover up
Yeah,
right before reaching home?
before reaching the place and like after leaving the place, they do cover up.
They do cover up.
So,
It's the same
yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Exactly, that's
I'm
what I'm
not saying. I'm not getting into the whole predatory conversation or are women putting themselves out there, because they're not. They're entitled to wear whatever. I'm
100%.
entitled to
You
wear
know, on
jewelry.
this conversation, all I hear
100%.
is Raghu screaming in my head. You've seen the reels, right?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. No, but it's literally they can wear
That's all
whatever.
that shows up on my Insta Explore these
They
days.
can wear whatever they want. I can wear whatever jewelry I want. Everyone can do whatever the hell they want in
Of
the world.
course. I
It's just,
understand.
it's just when it comes to saving yourself, that's where you just have to be slightly aware.
You
Right.
gotta do what you gotta
No,
do.
why
Right.
do you all think that Delhi is a rape capital? Why is India?
I'll tell you
why
why.
is
Because
rape
it's
so
a mix
prevalent
of
here?
cultures
Because most
from
of the
different
people
states,
in
you
Delhi
know.
are not from Delhi. Right?
Yeah.
हाँ ये तो
Delhi
चलो
isn't what
दिल्ली वालों की नहीं है, एक बहुत
हाँ.
पुरानी कहावत है, but like I also think to curb rape, we should make sex ed in every school available.
Yeah.
No,
Sex
I
ed-
just think the
sex
I
ed should be
wish
there.
it was that easy.
I think
It's just
I
that
think what needs
It's
to be
just straight.
done.
There's a straight
and,
answer.
and I feel
There's a
like
straight
I
I
answer.
feel like
That's
in
not the
10 years
straight
it will
answer.
happen.
It is.
I feel
Sex ed is
I
straight.
feel like in 10 years it will happen when this generation becomes the parents, because this generation isn't as taboo about this topic.
So whatever's taboo to you is more attractive. That's how the mind works. That's how the human
Yeah.
mind works,
no,
right?
I'm just saying
So
that
if sex
the,
is taboo,
the thing is,
you
it's
want
not
more.
for us, right? It's luckily
It's
for
not,
this
yeah.
generation, it's not as much, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what families you come from, it's not a
But
taboo topic.
but to solve the problem which you brought up, I don't think
We just need more
education is that
surveillance.
much of an easy solution.
Education is the only
No,
reason.
that is.
No, not only.
Nope,
Bro,
it
most
is,
of
it
the
is.
do you think the people who are so well educated and big speakers of our leaders of our country, don't they do all these heinous
Yeah.
activities?
What
They
about
do,
the Me
right?
Too? Is so many celebrities and all those
But my
powerful
point
people
is,
got
that the other solution is just capital
I'm
punishment.
talking about India itself.
capital punishment.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm
That's not how punishment really works in
yeah.
the judicial sense.
I mean,
capital punishment is
I feel like
killing the person.
I feel like
right?
I understand how
Yeah,
you're
but
saying it.
That's way too.
But the
I don't think
quantum of
that's the right
punishment
way to
I feel
do
like
it.
really
really
but-
work
but-
that
Way
way
to
in law.
Hitler. That's way too
Look,
Hitler.
I mean, dude, that's
I understand what he's saying, because if you think about Singapore, right? Like they put like such a big fine on chewing gums being
even
thrown.
Dubai. I understand. I get
No,
it.
like a small thing like a chewing gum which doesn't get disintegrated, right? Or doesn't get absorbed up. Throwing that and spitting that on the ground is a really big fine.
right.
And sometimes based on your score or whatever, I'm not too sure about this, but this is what I read.
Not throwing or spitting. You can't eat it only.
No, you can't have it only, of
Yeah.
course.
You
But,
can't open the.
You
but
can't
yeah,
have it
open
only.
it,
You
you
can't
can't own it.
possess it also.
Yeah.
but if
Oh.
say somebody does chew it and they spit it on the ground, or it's found somewhere, they will charge you or punish you based
I
upon.
wonder
and
how
it's a
that works.
pretty-
How will they track the chewing gum
Dude,
to you?
They do.
But it's a
How
pretty
does
strong. But
work?
it's a very strong punishment, right?
Yeah,
Like, so I feel like I understand what he's saying. It's just
it's too Hitlery, dude.
it's too
It's too.
it's
Yeah.
taking away. I mean, I feel like it's the right thing to do, because if
pretty
you put
inhum-
fear in people's heads, they stop with certain
Yeah.
of these actions.
It's like
which
treating people like rats, and which is, I don't think is the right way to do
But
it.
that's how various.
That's how law works.
That's how
know
various
fear-
political
I
But
know
isn't that
fear-
how
in the
law
world
works?
I know
That's
how
how it
people
works,
work.
exactly.
People work with fear. Fear motivates them
exactly,
to act
yeah.
certain
Fear
ways.
reward top to motivate.
Yeah. So, but I simply think if we educate every single one, it won't be a taboo. If it's not a taboo, it's not a big
Well,
thing.
that's
what's-
what I'm
but
saying,
what's
but that's-
education for you?
educating every single one.
No,
What are you
but
talking
hold
about?
up.
Bro,
Hold up.
That's-
it's possible in the next 50 years. Don't you think?
Bro, Indian population, let's say easy 70% won't be educated. Only
No,
you're talking
that's why
about
let
sex
me
ed.
interject. The education aspect, that's why I like what you said before. Internet is basically free.
Yeah.
Internet is changing these things. Dude, on Instagram, you are seeing these things constantly. On freaking Twitter or whatever other things that come up, these are very normal conversations and topics that become trending
And you
or
know-
become.
But guess what?
And
Most
you
of
know,
that is
getting the
inaccurate.
but listen up.
No, but
Getting the education is one thing, right? And using the education is a whole different ball game.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like this generation, when it grows up and becomes the base of the country, that topic is certainly going to be a very normal topic to discuss. Like it
Yeah.
is in Western cities and Western countries where.
But even that doesn't ensure that the problem will get
There's
better.
no insurance
I'm not saying
anyway.
insure. It's not like it doesn't
You
happen
can't
in Western
insure
countries,
anything.
right? It
You
does
can't-
happen in Western cities and cultures, right? It's
But-
not like it's not something that's being taken place. But I feel like this is how it can change drastically, where if people are okay with the topic, they won't be deprived of it.
Yep, that's
but
exactly
my
what I'm
basic
saying.
but my basic like thesis is, before educating the innocent, punish the guilty first. Punish the guilty first, then educate the innocent. I'm not against education by any stretch of the imagination,
Of course.
but punish the guilty first and do it publicly.
See, the thing is,
Public
Yeah,
execution.
do it, man. Just punish the
See,
people
the thing
publicly.
is, I think we're on
Where
different
do I get
tangents
the
here.
tickets?
I think I don't understand why countries need to be led with a stern hand always.
Because that's how people listen.
Yeah, especially
So
a country
might as
with
well-
such a large, vast population.
Might
needs
as
to
well not
be
have democracy.
under this.
Why do we have democracy? Might as well not have democracy at all. No, but I don't think a stern hand can work in a country like India. I don't think it can.
But-
It's too diverse and
it
too
is
huge.
it's
too huge.
What you said, like it is working. It's just the way you disguise it is all it is. Other countries have also had democracies that didn't work. It's
हाँ
just
तो
the way you
हम भी
disguise
कहने
it
को
is
सोशलिस्ट हैं. हम भी कहने को सोशलिस्ट
It's
इकोनॉमी
just
है
the-
तो
yeah, it's just the
है
way
तो
you
कैपिटलिस्ट
disguise
ही हम
it,
सब.
I
Like
think
the
the
monarch in
capitalist
UK
के अलावा
also.
there's no other way to be
There's
about it.
no other way,
You're
yeah.
going to now experience the UK ka monarch. Dude, you're not going to feel any difference from here versus there.
Mm.
Genuinely.
तो
Except
it's-
people look
Okay,
at it differently.
once you go to China, तू भी बोलेगा on the basic level there's no difference, but there is a huge difference.
No, of course, and there is a huge difference UK versus India also. I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
but it's
On
just
a basic level,
no
as a
on
tourist,
no
as
on
a student visa.
you're going to be a part of it, right? In a big way when you go there. You are going to be spending crazy amount of money to be there. You are going to be doing lots of things. It's not a 3-week vacation where you went and saw Disneyland and came back. No, you're going to be doing massive crazy things. You're going to be part of it. You are going to be seeing lots of things happen, and you're
Yeah.
going to realize, oh, this is big.
Mm.
But okay, like the Queen died when I was there,
Yeah.
right? She was in Scotland when she passed
What
away.
did the locals? How did the locals feel
Dude,
about the
locals
Queen
were
dying?
crying.
By the
Really?
way, by the way, a big shout out
She
to the
has
Queen.
put-
Yeah, she
You
got
know,
us
a
mad
big shout out to the
mad
Queen.
views,
That's
mad
our
views.
most successful reel till date.
Yeah.
We got
mad
like
views.
18,000 hits on that,
Yeah.
and like a big shout
No,
out.
but
to
it was crazy
Queen
when it
got
happened
that pull,
because
bro.
the
She got a
streets,
W
were,
res
the streets were
for
filled with
views.
people
Yeah.
losing their mind. And that's where I made the comparison where I was like, if any massive political leader were to pass away,
they wouldn't have
that's what
cared.
not. How much would the country or the people or the followers or the supporters care? On the contrary, over there, people lost it, dude.
Speaking of these influential leaders, before we get off, I really want to talk about this one person, Dalai Lama.
Mm.
You
The
saw the
man
whole
who
debacle.
kissed-
You saw the whole
Made
debacle.
the-
I
around
just
him?
saw the clip though.
Yeah.
Just I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
you
the
know what-
whole
you know what he said
context.
after?
I didn't get too
You know what he
much
said
into
after? He said that I wanted to be relevant like all the other leaders. They're also doing
Did he say
pedophilia.
that?
They're also doing
What?
pedophilia, so I want to join in.
I-
Bro, this
He
really-
said that, he
you know
said
what, this
that.
really-
There's no way,
this
bro.
really gets me
Bro,
to
there's no way.
I didn't
This
get
gets
think
me
he
to
was
a new
joking
topic
around. He
altogether.
said sorry. He
also.
said sorry, but he was joking.
Dude,
the
this
thing
gets
is-
me to a whole new topic altogether. Where there seemed to be. How did we not talk about this before? Yeah, we should have been
Go ahead, dude.
But
Go
it's
talking
fine,
ahead.
about
we
the
have
Illuminati
time.
and
We have
the
time.
Matrix and all that.
Don't stress.
Go
We'll
ahead.
edit it before.
Go ahead.
Dude, the thing is about Dalai Lama. I don't feel bad about even the people. I actually feel bad about the supporters who gave their entire lives to
To
that way
Buddhism.
of living. And when they finally saw that their main guy is like Michael Jackson, it must have hurt them a little bit, right?
Michael Jackson wasn't really proven to be a pedophile. It's still up to conspiracy. Do you know that?
I like the lawyer. I like the lawyer in him. He's got the lawyer in him.
Yeah,
But
there
I'm
are
just
interviews of that.
saying
too.
how disappointing it must be for the supporters who gave their lives to that guy. Just to see him kiss a young guy.
Young kid, make him
kid.
suck his tongue. That's
I mean,
That
bad.
No, but that's anybody
bad.
with a big status will always be questioned about any single decision that they've made. Kobe Bryant passed away. The world was shattered.
I was shattered.
I
was
am
shattered,
a
bro.
basketball player and I'm a big believer and I watch that
Big
sport all
fan
the
of the
time,
sport
right?
myself. Yeah.
Right, like I was shattered when I found out. Like it was very difficult to
Actually, it was the first celebrity death that ever
actually affected.
mattered even a bit to me.
Exactly.
That
And-
was Tentacion for me.
That was Chester
Also,
Bennington for
Paul
me.
Walker
Linkin
and also
Park
lots
lead
of
man.
musicians. That's a
Tentacion
different
for
conversation.
me.
But Kobe Bryant
Yeah.
on the
And
larger
Sidhu.
scale, on
Baji.
the larger scale, Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant's death was a thing that really affected the world. Right, every
Yeah.
single country was doing something for it.
Mm.
There were tributes being made. But literally, 6 months after that, the old conspiracies and all
Right,
the old
lawsuits,
allegations,
the old
they
lawsuits.
start coming back up and
Right.
people are not talking about. And I go, that's really disrespectful. Of course, to him, to the family, to
Yeah.
everything that his legacy that was built up, and that's where the supporters feel bad. But that's always gonna happen. I feel like no matter what caliber, Mac
But-
Miller is
Yeah.
one of the best
But so-
musicians
But
of all
after
time.
knowing, but
So
after
what
having
happened
the
to me? What
information,
conspiracy happened about
No,
it?
no conspiracy. Mac Miller, according to me, we listen to his music all the time.
no.
He
But the
make-
thing
made
is,
some
the
amazing
Dalai
things.
Lama
Yeah, getting back
thing
to
is
that.
that ki, if after knowing also you're still supporting the guy, then maybe something could be wrong with you.
Of course,
Yeah,
if
blind
there
faith,
is
blind
something,
faith.
Worship.
if there's
He's-
something absolutely
this thing
proved,
is-
and then you support.
He's joined with religion and people are blindly.
And most of these
Uh,
leaders are like this, dude. Most of these people are like this. Again, to his point, that anyone
Yeah.
at that status will be questioned more than the normal
Obviously,
person.
right? Like,
Mm.
no
Yeah.
matter what they did, like something or the other, the universe is able to find out. Why I mentioned Mac Miller is because he died because of whatever, of course, clinical reasons and whatnot. But on headline it said overdose,
Overdose.
Mm.
right? Now, just because I love his music doesn't mean I support people doing drugs or getting
Yeah,
overdosed,
yeah.
right? But
Just because I like Kanye doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic. So
right, but
That's-
like,
that's where-
but
that's
those
just
things
weird.
Even
will.
he's not anymore.
But the thing is, those things will all.
Jonah Hill for life.
But the thing is,
Big
those
shout
things will
out.
always
Jonah.
come up. Those things about these celebrity status people will always be there.
Yeah,
That somebody's bound to get hurt because of it,
right.
and they're always going to question something about their character. Doesn't matter if it's respectful or disrespectful to the family or the fans or the supporters. They will bring it up because that's news.
Right.
But
Right.
the whole Dalai Lama situation though makes
Dalai
me
Lama.
yeah, it makes me
Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama.
it makes me question the whole concept of a belief, religion, and God in itself, which is why I really
No,
choose
he's
to.
just an ambassador, right?
I choose to be an atheist because of
Bro,
these
I think we should
reasons
start a
only.
new cult.
He's just an like Fight Club, but he's just an ambassador, right?
Tyler Durden, if he was done
Bro,
right.
rule number 1, you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be a part of the cult.
What's wrong with you?
About what?
No, but that's a movie, right? We're gonna have our own thing, right? Which
On the
is
same page.
unnamed.
It's gonna have no title.
Yeah.
Come watch our movie.
No, but like you want to talk about cults and Matrix and
Yeah, it
all
makes
that.
me. It makes me. Firstly, about Dalai Lama, this makes me want to question religion, God, this whole beliefs and the whole belief system that we have in the modern world today.
Harvey Specter. Yeah.
I'm always playing the devil's advocate. That's
It's
how I
good,
go
it's
about
good.
life.
Yeah.
And about the Matrix bit, okay, so you want me to end my Dalai Lama comment here? So
Yeah,
this,
sure.
is, this is what I have to say about it.
It's
We don't-
key.
he didn't
It's your show too, man. You
Yeah.
can say whatever
Be
you want.
atheist.
Yeah.
Don't believe in religion, no beliefs, no religion, no
Hmm.
pedophilia.
The thing is, I feel like our religion, Hinduism, is the best because it's so open. No, it's just so open. You can if you want to worship Shiva, worship Shiva, worship
Yeah,
Krishna, worship Krishna. It's
Was I
great.
talking to you about this like a week ago?
Yeah, we were.
Then why
Right.
does no religion
it's,
say?
it's great because
You can
I
do
mean,
whatever.
I'm not making comments on religion because I'm not very spiritual in nature or religious
But
in nature.
spiritual and religion
No,
is
I'm
different.
just generally saying that I'm not
Yeah.
spiritual or religious in nature.
He's not inclined towards.
I'm not
this.
inclined towards
Yeah.
these things, but my family is, and because of that, I have of course practiced Hinduism. But I've got lots of friends who are a part of different religions or practice different
Yeah.
religions, and
Yeah.
because of that, I've got like a good understanding.
Mm.
So why can't religions be chill enough to say ki, okay, you practice
See, the
whatever
religions are
Hindu
supposed
is
to be
that-
chill.
Hindu
People
is
are
that-
not chill.
People are
Religions
not
are
So
chill.
Yeah.
the thing is,
People are not
the thing is,
chill.
anti-Semitic. Sorry, Semitic religions aren't chill. Like Islam, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
No, he's
Judaism.
right,
Judaism.
No, he's
There's
right.
Judaism. They're
These
not
are
chill.
These are chill, but the
They're
people
not.
who are ambassadors of these
But that's the
religions
thing, right? Even let's
or-
just say,
That religion is not
let's
chill.
just say the scriptures are not chill. Look, I don't know too much about it. I'm sure they are.
Any
they're
religion
not.
that is restricting you to your lifestyle is not
It's
chill.
again,
So
it's
that's-
not
So
again.
all
I mean,
religions
so
pose
is
a
Hinduism
restriction
restricting
on your
lots of things.
lifestyle.
So does Hinduism
Yeah,
restrict you from
like,
lots of things.
No, all
No,
I'm
the
saying
thing
is,
is,
eating
wait,
certain
wait,
things,
you have
drinking
to
certain
boys,
things.
boys.
Sure.
The main bottom line being, it's up to the people what you want to learn from your own
Yeah.
holy book,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
There's gonna be bad things everywhere. There's gonna be bad people, things which are not gonna like in this podcast itself.
100%.
But if someone's watching and they get any value from it, our job is done.
Mm.
But if you want to take out one bad comment or one thing which we
Hmm.
said
No way.
unironically and they're gonna be like, oh no, this episode is bad, then fine.
Mm.
Doesn't affect
True,
us.
true.
Because
Derive
because
value how you want.
religion is always a touchy topic, and yeah, thank you
But I
for
think religion,
stopping it where we did.
Yeah.
no, but that's the thing. I think religion
For
is also
good.
really important. You know why? I'm not religious myself, but a lot of people don't have much going on in their lives, right? A lot of people don't have a lot, and a lot of people get really hopeless. They need some sort of a support group, some sort of a good sentiment, some maybe good vibes, or just something to hold on to.
and
it
that's
gives-
what it provides.
It gives them hope.
Yeah.
It gives them a sense of community. It gives them a sense of,
True. That's
belonging.
That was
So I
what
think-
it was inherently supposed to be also.
right, and that's what it's
Now
supposed to
it's-
be.
now it's
But
fear.
what happened is, idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
लोग घर पे बैठे हैं वेले हैं कुछ करने को नहीं है. So what they do is they start fighting each other about it.
Religion was basically a group of people binding over a common thought or a common philosophy. Simple
Religion
as
is
that.
like a company,
Like
right?
what we're doing right now, of people sharing thoughts,
Dude,
having common ideologies and
Apple
all
is a
that.
religion. Apple is a religion.
Yeah,
if
true.
you think about it.
100%.
I have the same phone, but if I openly critique someone else's phone, they just howl at me. They're like, "Oh, you don't know anything about it. Try buying one."
Plus
That's
cult.
religion.
Good comparison.
Bro, every
Yeah.
every cult is every religion is a cult that got popular, basically.
Mm.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
That's
You're
it.
only one step behind becoming a religion when you're a cult.
I am not making any comments on this topic at all. I'm shying away from it as much as I
I'm
can.
not talking about
Yeah,
a
I know,
specific
I know
cult
what you
here.
mean.
No, I'm just staying
There are
away.
two people here. That we can't talk much about this at all.
What who?
The Semitic religions. the Semitic religions,
What are the Semitic
We can't
religions?
talk-
Muslim and Judaism and
No,
Christian.
I don't
we
feel
won't
like,
go
I'm
into
not talking about
detail.
any. I only spoke about Hinduism because I am Hindu. I
Yeah.
can talk, and yes, I have practiced lots of things and been part of lots of things. Like I have done Chalya with a Sikh friend of mine, and
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
40 days. I unfortunately couldn't do all 40 days, but I did 36. I did practice Buddhism once. I have lots of friends who are Buddhist. I did go to churches and understand how Sunday church works and services work, Sunday service works and stuff, and understood a little bit about Christianity. So I'm glad that I've been part of all of these things and nobody's ever questioned me. So that's why I'm not one to make any suggestions or comments about how
And
these
you know,
religions
even
are.
hypothetically speaking, even if the Cuppa Joe show becomes a religion of some sort, right?
Cult
We-
first.
a cult following, a religious following, and it's like so many fans or whatnot. There's always going to be these one or two people who are going to be such big of a fan of ours that they're going to ruin the whole thing for the other people who know nothing about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
are always
well
going to
said.
draw other people who might be interested away because of their extremism.
Fair point.
Like anime
I think-
fans, Marvel fans,
Yeah.
all that.
Don't
I
marry
think
your
it-
bias too hard.
Yeah.
Again.
I think with all beliefs, it's best, especially religion and all this fandom, it's best to take out the positives out of everything. Ignore the negatives.
More like strong opinions held loosely.
Nice, yeah.
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 I think
Like, you're proud of what you said right now, right? Like it's on your face.
Another much.
He's like, oh my, he literally said it and he goes, I said that. I can't believe I said
so.
that.
I think
Look at me.
I've said that
let's-
before. So
I think let's end the podcast with this insane. Yep, I think we hit the 2 hour mark.
Is
Yeah,
it?
we-
Yeah,
yeah,
we did.
We crossed it. We
Yeah,
crossed
we
the
crossed
mark.
it.
What's the
Wow.
time right now?
It's 4:10, nearly
So-
4:10.
Damn.
All right, boys. Let's conclude this then. First
Yep.
of all, I want to thank both of you, Aryan and Jaskaran.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you
guys.
so
Thank
much
you
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
Thank
It's
you.
been a
for having
blast.
us.
You have
Honestly, a pleasure.
You have definitely added much more to this podcast than we could ever have, and we're so happy that.
I had a good time with you all, and hopefully we can do one of these in the not so distant future. So, just like a plug in the end, guys, follow Aryan at Aryan Bhagat. Listen to his music. Stream it on Spotify and Apple Music. Watch his music videos on YouTube. Follow Jaskaran at Jaskaran Bindra.
Don't follow me. Just
Don't
send me
just
DM.
follow him.
Just
DM
send me
him.
love.
DM.
Spam his
No,
DMs.
but
Send
love,
me
but,
vibes
love,
and
but
love.
love is
Yeah.
overrated.
Give-
तभी तो मेरे को
he
फर्क नहीं
wants,
पड़ेगा
he,
ना.
he wants more situationships, right?
No,
So,
more situationships.
follow
No,
Ahaan at Ahaan Mahan. Follow me at Dhananjay
Just follow us at the Cuppa Joe show.
And
Yeah.
also follow us at the Cuppa Joe show, where we'll be posting small snippets, small maybe bloopers, and the rest on YouTube.
And many more to come.
This
Many
entire
more to
episode
come.
was a blooper, I think.
Yeah.
There's so
They
much
all
that
are.
happened.
They all
Yeah.
are.
Give them
They all
likes and subscribers. Give them good comments so they bring us again so that we can be back here again
Also
soon.
bad comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would love bad
Yeah,
comments.
Constructive criticism is welcome.
Otherwise,
Just
we're
make
gonna
sure
look
when you
forward to-
abuse the spellings, you get the spellings right.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than badly spelled abuses. मतलब मजा नहीं आता. They don't hit the spot.
You don't hit the spot.
The pick
So,
up the grammar Nazis come out.
Yeah.
Just said the word Nazi and the video's demonetized. Okay, never mind.
Right.
So
Alright,
give
guys.
them likes, comments, lots of
And-
love. I want to be back here soon. Please bring me back here.
No, but
Please
thank you for having us.
bring
It was
back.
quite nice.
No,
Appreciate
it
it,
was
man.
It was
great.
Appreciate
absolutely
it.
a blast.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Peace.
That's it.
Yeah.